Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. We're seeing North American stock futures back to the downside ever so slightly at this point this morning. We're back in negative territory after a record-setting week. We'll look to end off on a positive note here heading into the weekend. On a Friday, the S&P broke the late February record high back on Wednesday. We did top it again yesterday. As well. The moves came even as the Labor Department yesterday reported higher than expected weekly jobless claims numbers, back above 1 million. We mentioned yesterday versus a 900,000 number that was expected. So a little bit of negativity kind of shrugged off throughout the session yesterday. Individually this morning, electric vehicle makers back on watch. We have Tesla trying to hold that 2,000 level to the upside this morning after being up as high as 2050 early on when I sat down this morning. NIO back on the move this morning as well, trading lower. The company updated its plans as far as global expansion. We'll talk about that coming up. We're also watching Sorrento Therapeutics, some M&A activity involving Sorrento to talk about this morning. It's Friday, August 21st, 2020. TraderTV.live starts now. Go look at Asian markets from the overnight session, guys. You can see a bit of a mix showing once again. We had both Chinese markets solidly higher, Australia to the downside though. Let's shift over to Europe and see how things are looking. Pretty negative top to bottom throughout the European landscape. We'll move over to North America and have a look at futures here back in negative territory, as I mentioned. The NASDAQ though trying here to get back towards the break-even mark. TSX futures here in Toronto pointing to a 0.73% decline at the open. Brazil's open, little change. We have Bitcoin to the downside today. Also gold trading to the downside so far this morning as well. Guys, Friday, we made it through the week. A bit of a muted start to the session as we were talking about in the pre-market there a little bit, but Tesla, here we go again, back to, above the 2,000 mark. We closed above it, obviously, yesterday. We pushed up to about 2050 in the pre-market this morning, looking to hold that kind of area now.
Yeah. Wow. Tesla. What a ride that was yesterday. I mean, you talk about the 1900 break, and then within minutes, you were talking about 2,000 and holding above this. Of course, everyone talking about the stock split. Worth keeping in mind, there's other catalysts coming through here, possible addition to the S&P 500. Of course, you have their battery event coming up, and then October, you get the possible deliveries and earnings. So lots of things to possibly give Tesla some momentum going through. I know we're going to be talking about it and trading it heavily, but it's not the only thing moving today. We are going to be looking at NIO, and I'm about to watch that GVO, even with a share offering, downside, and then crossing 30 million shares in volume. It seems every single day there is some kind of a small cap company doing 100, 200, 500 million shares. It's crazy times. A lot of fun to be trading here, Sean. Into an exciting week for sure coming up.
Yeah, big week coming up, hopefully. I don't know. It's getting near the end of the summer, so we'll look for some volume to start picking up a bit. And Neil just talked about Tesla breaking through 2,000 and now holding strongly above. I mean, it didn't even test it in the pre-market here. We got as low as 2012, like Neil mentioned, 2050 or so on that wick upside. But yeah, what a great run it was yesterday off that 1900. This is a 3-minute chart. A few other names in talk today. We'll talk about Sorrento, like Brendan was mentioning there, and a few other names. Foot Locker on earnings, so get your kicks up and get ready to trade some Foot Locker with us today, Brendan.
Yeah, a decent report actually from Foot Locker. A little bit of a surprise there. Let's have a look at what's coming up a little bit later in the show. There we go. Brand new educational video coming your way, guys, a little bit later on, 11:45, 11:50-ish. Valeria will have the link for you, all about range-bound markets, how to trade. We're into that kind of sleepy summer trading action, sideways consolidation. So lots of great tips in there on how you can still make your day even when the markets are stuck in a range. So stick around for that coming up a little bit later on. Speaking of Valeria, let's go over to the desk and say good morning to her.
Good morning and hello everyone. Welcome to the live trading show. Please sign up to our daily free watch list at the link I'm sending on the chat and subscribe to this channel to receive notifications when we are back on air. And guys, please support and smash the like button right now. Let's have a great last day of the week, and back to Brandon.
The guys are happy it's Friday and want to get on camera already. Let's have a look at how traders here at Day Trade the World fared yesterday. I think it's important we have a look at this list, guys, because even though, as we said, kind of sleepy summer trade action, look at the numbers coming out of here yesterday. The NASDAQ leading the way, 21,000. Amex, NASDAQ in New York, 14,000. You got to go all the way down to here, number 8, which is kind of rare to find some European action here. 4,500 coming out of Europe yesterday, but another great day for traders here at Day Trade the World. Lots to get to this morning before we get to the open coming up in about 25 minutes. We'll touch in with Arun and have a look at the futures just before the open. But let's get going with individual names here. Tesla, guys, is going to be the first one we talk about. Let's come up with a plan of how we can attack this thing again. We, as we said, got above 2,000 yesterday, closed above 2,000, was up around that 2050 mark when I sat down this morning. We had a bit of a sell-off, but here we go again, guys, trying to get back to the upside for Tesla.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's the same story over and over again. Just an absolute blast this has been to trade. There was very, very light volume. I think you talked about that 2050 area, Brendan. Just this one tap here at about just after 7 o'clock. You sort of ignore this little wick here. That's going to be those deep prints that we do see, sometimes dumping overnight, trade block action. If we can hold 2,000, I really do think a support bounce off that could be a good one. Just looking at afternoon break, you did have this break here just before 3 o'clock, and then we held support a few times. So if we can bounce off that, I think there's going to be one of those dip buy opportunities that we've seen, at least a couple of times this week in the first hour on Tesla. Otherwise, you almost have to always be considering these breakout trades. I prefer the 2050 to the 2060 you see here. I throw out some of these levels that happen before 7 a.m. They tend not to matter too much. So maybe look for that 2050 to be the real top. Holding that 2,000 I think would be fantastic on a dip buy as well. If it breaks 2,000, I'm unlikely to be involved until I see a bottom. I don't know that I want to short through that price.
So this is yesterday's open, right? We were at 1850. So 1850 yesterday at the open, and you see just a rifle straight to the upside. That's that little open range there. We cracked it, and then just nothing but upside from there. So you got a big little, $30, $40 move right off the open in 1 minute. The same thing could happen today, although obviously you see what the market did yesterday with that huge run up through that 1900. I don't think there's anything sort of key right now about that. I mean, is it going to break through 2050 again? The stock was $360 back in March. You're at $2,036 right now. Elon Musk loving life, obviously, as we continue to go higher and higher. So 238, you could take 245 as the top, but I think the best play is probably waiting for the move and then trying to catch a bottom. I think that would be the best play today. I wouldn't short it unless it was breaking back down through 2,000 and give the sellers a reason to hit this thing back down. But for right now, I've been talking about some of the tailwinds these guys have had for a long time, and I said it wasn't even about the cars. They have the power, they have the data, and they have the autonomy. So Tesla just keeps on making those moves, Brendan.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point to reiterate, guys. As far as the short side goes, we saw that big kind of red candle late in the afternoon. If you're watching it late in the afternoon yesterday, it did break back to the downside out of that consolidation, but lifted right back up again and ended up closing above 2,000. So be very patient when it comes to trying to short that thing today. It could get you in a whole bunch of trouble. NIO, let's go to NIO, guys. We touched on this way back at the beginning of this year. They came out with a big plan as far as global expansion was concerned and how they wanted to move into North America and also throughout Europe. They kind of put that on the back burner when the pandemic hit and put a pause to that. But the CEO out overnight early this morning talking about how they are now starting to revisit that plan as far as expansion goes, moving into North American markets. Both the U.S., Canada, and Mexico were mentioned, and that even included their battery swapping business. So they have a business in China that's basically a drive-through. You drive your car into a shop, battery drops out, new one goes in, you continue on your way. So they might even bring that, guys, over to North America and try to compete with Tesla that way.
Okay.
It's like 2 days in a row they have like these like sort of positive news stories on NIO. And what we said was, yeah, not even trading up on that. You have Tesla looking super strong, and then NIO on good news selling off. We were able to take advantage of that in the morning, and it's a similar story here. Another reiteration of their ambitions in Europe first, I guess, and then going global, and we're down 1% and testing this 1350 bottom that we made yesterday. So I'm going to be shorting NIO through 1350. I'm going to be looking to sell it in front of. Yeah, maybe it'll be that 14 that we had yesterday, but I doubt that. So we'll call it like the 1375 to 1385 area on a pop. Probably a hard stop at 90, at least initially in the first few minutes. But a 1350 break, NIO I will short through that break price, just given the reaction to news the last couple of days has been weak.
Yeah, exactly. And I do see some comments there about NIO. Look, I think that NIO is going to be a big hit eventually when it does get to the States. So I think a lot of people will buy these cars. But for right now, yeah, I mean, it's you're only having 710,000 shares. Normally we get a market imbalance of something in the millions for this stock. But look, there's absolutely nothing here. FST, I don't know if I know what that is. It's some sort of an income trust there. AT&T, Pfizer also on the move today as well. But yeah, for NIO, look, I mean, it's going to be much of the same. Yesterday, we can find out where the bottoms were yesterday, and you're talking about right here, 1350. So that's going to be a level to watch out for on the downside. I love trading even pennies. That's a 50, that's a 75, and that's an O. So you can get here down to evens, maybe take a long in front of it. If it breaks, then watch out. We'll check some size out at $30.50. So you do get a little bit of size right here, and you get some size up here as well at 84. So there's just a little quick look at the level 2 screen where you see some buy in demand and then some passive orders just sitting around. But right now it looks like the bid side a little heavier than the ask on NIO, guys.
All right, guys, let's go to GEVO, G-E-V-O Incorporated, both the ticker and the name of the company. It's a renewable energy company. We announced, or we talked about it yesterday. They signed that big contract, $1.5 billion contract. It is long-term, however, so it is going to take them a significant amount of time to be able to see that money. But big time move yesterday. It almost, I didn't check the volume right at the end of the day, but it was above 900 million shares when I last looked at it in the last hour of the day. So impressive volume for a company that I'll double check, but I think it was around 30 million market cap.
Yeah. And it's making moves again today. I mean, we're at 35 million already. I think by this time yesterday we were in the 100 million at least by this time. So we'll wait to see what it does today. There was a share offering there in the afternoon, bringing this stock back down to the downside here. But look, it's making moves again, bouncing off VWAP here of 138, 139. These were the levels yesterday to look out for. See, on all of these drops, like we maxed out at 220, then it halts in the middle here, halts again, opens back up, and every time lower, and before catching another bid to the upside here. So we can draw lines and do all this kind of fancy stuff if you want, but realistically, there's a couple bottoms here. 160 should be a good little break to the upside, but I think you could fade it basically all the way back to $2 here and wait for a $2 break if it wants to go. If it goes, it goes. We know that. There's going to be no problem, but right now it looks like 2 was very toppy here. Bounced off 2 there at 330, bounced off 2 again in the aftermarket before, of course, coming back down. So I think we either wait for $2 or, like yesterday's video says, you go into scalp mode right now and you just start taking pennies, man. I think that's the way to do it. The big move doesn't come until it either hits 2 and goes back down or hits 2 and goes up. So I don't know. I think it might be a scalper today, Neil.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I mean, 2 and 220 levels you just talked about, that's what matters. And I think maybe to the downside, this, and it's not even a hard level, it's more like this 135 to 140. Anything in that range, maybe if it can't hold that, you get a breakdown to some of these lows. Otherwise, you might, I wouldn't be surprised if I just saw like a 10-15 cent range for a large portion of the session. Maybe you get something on a 150 break. Just sort of looking at the level 2 here for those of you guys that are interested. I don't really see anything that stands out anywhere except for a lot of buy support, bid support, which you can see a lot of times post-offering down around that 140 price. So look, it's going to be scalper's mode, which means you don't want to be married to any ideas, but if it gets to 220 and turns, that's a seller's dream.
Worth mentioning, guys, on that GVO as well. 130 was the offering price. So as far as downside goes, watch 130 as well. Orogenics, we touched on this one a little bit yesterday. It's been kind of popping up every other day sort of thing for the past couple of weeks. Orogenics, they signed a deal with another company, Avid Bioservices, to continue developing their COVID-19 potential vaccine. So just teaming up with another company to expand the work on that. So trading higher, guys. OGEN this morning.
Yeah, I mean, it sold off of 112 yesterday. It was like it bounced to $1 and then sold off at 112 and then back to penny stock status, and it's bouncing up again. If it holds $1 this time, I'm just going to go long through the top, right? So it's not really, like 110 is the high today. I kind of look at yesterday's top as being a little bit more significant. So I'll go with like 112 for the breakout style trade. As always, if I see a trade like this, sort of give us an entry point, maybe, like 930, 925, 930, something like that, where it tests the high and then starts to roll over. Yeah, I'll take a short in front of the top with the breakout long through 112, but I can short it maybe in the 105 to 108 range on the way back in, and then hopefully it holds that level all morning, and then we're short the entirety of the day. That's something that we should have done yesterday. I was looking at a few other ones that were good, but that would have certainly worked if you did that yesterday. Let's see if it happens again today on OGen.
Yeah, OGen, just a little dollar stock there. You got to watch out. Make sure that you do have the shortable shares for that, like we were just mentioning there. Ask your broker, and don't get all psyched up to trade something. If you can't, you can try to put an order out. If it goes pending, great. But you got to make sure that you do have shortable shares. And I'm just here watching GVO. Looks like the bid is a lot heavier, guys, than the ask. So a couple size there, 2,000. That's 200,000 shares on the bid there, and layered all the way back down. And so that's what it is. I did want to say one more thing here before we go. I know we have lots to talk about, but please, if you're in any groups, share it. We have this new little button here. Share the program with all of your friends. Let's get as many viewers as we can. Look at these futures, guys, all the way back. We came in, I was like, oh my God, we're down 0.5%. This can't be possible, not in this market. And yeah, straight to the upside here, Brendan.
There we go, yeah. Another day, another positive move for the market. BioNTech, guys, we touched on a whole bunch of vaccine-related news yesterday. If you remember, BNTX and Pfizer, one of those stories, they came out with an update on their work on their second COVID-19 potential vaccine. So they're working on multiple different vaccines, obviously, and then they'll go forward with the most successful one. So aftermarket yesterday, they continued that update, provided more information. So nice look here for BNTX this morning. 8%, guys, to the upside here on decent volume as well. This 71 to 70 area on the daily chart, a big time level for this one.
Yeah, you mentioned that. So like 70, kind of 71, 70 to 72 is that level. It's testing it right now. I don't want to say we're going to ignore Pfizer, but we kind of are, because it's BioNTech that is actually moving. So that's what we're going to be concerned with. A lot of times I'll sell any kind of COVID plays when they get the gap to the upside, but this is a pretty strong move. It was doing that little fade off in the pre-market before bouncing right into that level that you talked about there, Brendan. So I have it as 71, 70 to 72 range. It's already tested through one time. The new high is 72.20. That gives you a possible breakout there. If I'm going to try and fade this gap, which has been a very successful strategy anytime there's been a COVID update, we kind of knew a lot of this news in terms of their trial in their timeline. So I'll probably take at least one shot in front of 72.20 to the south side on BioNTech before looking for any breakout through the high.
I like BNTX as well, and we can look at Pfizer just quickly in case some of you do have that up in your account. 39.04. Look, positive data coming through. I really get a feeling that there's going to be multiple vaccines. I mean, if that's not the case, then I'd be truly shocked. The AstraZeneca vaccine also doing really well, apparently in trials. And we saw J&J yesterday got 60,000 more patients, I believe, down in Brazil. So there's lots happening right here. Pfizer, 39.28. Check out the daily chart on this thing. You are breaking out, and that's sort of why I didn't want to ignore Pfizer for some of you traders out there. 39.50, we've been up here before. If you can crack through 39.50, then I would say you may want to, if I can find it, we have a few new things on the board, but take out the hammer here and try to go nuts if you can get above 39.50, because bounce off that level, you break through with positive news. We definitely like that one. Pfizer on watch there, 39.50.
Okay, guys, sorry, I'm just going to throw a headline up here and we'll touch on GVO a little bit. Yeah, there was just a price target increase from Noble Capital on GEVO. So even with the offering, they upped the target there to 240 on that GEVO. So another upward catalyst. Let's go to Alibaba. We mentioned it yesterday during the show after earnings. Price action was kind of muted, really, after that report, with all things China continuing to be up in the air when it comes to the U.S. and China anyways. But back on watch this morning, there were multiple, 3 or 4 different analyst moves as far as price target increases today on Alibaba, guys.
I like it. I like
it was a good but somewhat disappointing short in terms of the actual execution of it. It sold most of everything off in the pre-market on a fade back in. I thought at the open there'd be a bigger play. There was a couple of like $1, $1.50, $2 type scalps off of the 260 level, just fading in front of it, and then it came back to 59. So maybe there's a potential breakthrough 260. I had an order in for that for most of the day back to the upside. It just never materialized. I think we're going to get a shot at it here. Maybe we'll buy this one through a 260 break. I will say this, we got 10 minutes to go. It's only like 40 cents away. And yesterday, I made a mistake of getting in too early in the pre-market, so I'm going to try to avoid that. I'm not going to put the stop in. If it breaks 60s in the pre-market, I don't necessarily love it. In that case, I'll look for a dip buy opportunity potentially, or if it does go up through 60, maybe we'll catch a dip and support at that same price. But I don't want to have this before 9:30. I just felt like it led to some poor execution for me. But that's the only level I'm watching currently on Alibaba. And your target would be somewhere in front of the pre-market high yesterday, like 64, 64.5.
Yep, we love Alibaba. I like this one through for sure, 100% through 260. It's a great business. It's a great model. There's nothing wrong with it. We talked about PricewaterhouseCoopers being their underwriter, so I'm not super worried about anything as far as them being delisted or anything. And with all of this Chinese rhetoric and all this talk here, politics and this and that, and maybe delisting, you're still at almost all-time highs here on Alibaba. So play the momentum, keep it strong. If you ever get a dip down to 250, if you're an investor, I think that's a great little look here. But straight upside on Alibaba. Didn't even really retrace that much in March, so there's a lot to go up. I mean, the amount of money that these guys push through their system is absolutely unbelievable. They're also in the cloud. I love Alibaba. We just need to get some momentum to the upside, like Neil was mentioning.
Okay, guys, let's go to another one with Chinese ties. Pinduoduo, they reported earnings that were worse than expected. Disappointing quarter for PDD. The company's operating loss widened to 1.64 billion yuan. That was above the 1.49 billion that was expected. So another one from China, this time to the downside. We've seen some of these Chinese stocks getting a bit of a bid this week, but not today.
No,
definitely not Pinduoduo. Breaking through the 50 period here, guys. Just watch this level here. A lot of times you'll see on light volume harsh turnarounds or little breaks of support on very, very key and obvious prices. And 84 is going to be one from the daily. You're going to see, this was a lot earlier on. I tried to make it a little bit cleaner on my 3 minutes so you don't see all the pre-market action. But you have a current low of 86, but 84 is that actual double bottom. So there's still room to go on an 86 break. I was actually interested, and I wrote down here this 89 level. So any kind of a gap fill back to the upside is going to look to hold 89 for range free short. I'd be done with the short through that price and maybe thinking about a scalp to the long side. But otherwise, it's 86 and 84. 84 is where if it turns around, maybe I'd consider buying it. But I don't think that's going to be something I'm eager to do here. I'd much rather be buying BABA, which, again, it looks like that break of 260 is probably going to happen before we open, guys.
85.75. I mean, look, it's not a great report. 85.75 to the downside here on Pinduoduo. We can go back. It's back a couple days. You had 84.75 coming into play. So 85, 86. They're all right here on Pinduoduo. This is just a 1 minute chart that we can blow up for you just a little bit here. You can see big move down, but look at this up here, guys. 11% to the downside. So you're not going to be able to market in on the short side. You're going to have to wait for an uptick to be able to get in. So watch out for, like Neil mentioned, 86 break. I like, 85.75, give it a little bit more room. This stock should be crazy today. So Pinduoduo on the move, and it's going to be one of those names that we look at right off the open, I think.
Let's touch on Foot Locker here, guys. Want to get to a room before we get to the open. So let's real quick touch on Foot Locker. Better than expected quarter. Both the per share, the revenue beat. They also raised their full year guidance. They reinstated their share buyback program and also reinstated their dividends. So I don't know anything else that could possibly be positive about Foot Locker, but yeah, there's a whole bunch today.
Yeah. We knew that. I mean, Nike had a good quarter. I talked about Foot Locker having a good quarter, and that's what they did come out with. So nice to see on that play there for Foot Locker. Yesterday we closed down here 27 in change. What a nice move back to the upside here. 29.35, 29.50. We'll wait to see on any upgrades and things like that coming through today on Foot Locker. We just did cross. I've been talking to you guys about this 50 period for a very, very long time, any of the viewers. So I think that's a very important thing. We are crossing it right now at 29. So I like this thing through 29, and let's just see what the volume is doing. 800,000 shares today, so it's not horrible. But right now there is like a little bit of these are all 100 share orders, and look what price is, 29. So it's resisting the break for now. Let's see if it does get going through 29, upside 29.50 and change. Downside, kind of guess where this consolidation stops, which happens to be 28.50. So 50 cents either way on this one, guys.
All right, guys, we'll go to the overall market here. Sorry, just getting a chart here. Ready? We'll touch in with Arun here and see what he's looking at as far as the futures are concerned. Arun in the building today. Take it away.
Okay, today there's been a lot of activity pre-market, so I'm still sticking to that area that I gave you guys yesterday, which was 45 on the bottom. So you'll see in the pre-market we've dipped down into the 60s. That's the exact area where I like to get some longs in. I didn't step in right away, but if it comes back down to 60, going down to 45, I would love to step in and go along. The other side is the 3,400 top. That is the all-time high on the future. 33.9750, I believe, is the all-time high on the futures. So 3,400 top. If that goes, my concern with that is the amount of stops that are building above the 3,400. The longer we take, the more and more stops that build up there. So yes, the area is there. Yes, the levels, there's been a decent amount of selling there. Would I want to step into a short? Because I would have to give it to 3,400, but if the 3,400 goes and I got to get up past that, it's going to go very quickly given how many stops are going to be past that. So I'm going to be very careful with looking for shorts. I would prefer the longs down through 33.60, going down to 33.44, 33.45. Of course, I'm not going to say no to the shorts, but it's got to be a really, really good setup for me to take that shot above 3,400 there, Brennan.
Great stuff. Thanks, Arun. We'll check back in with Arun going to be joining us next week as well in the building. MTP here, guys, another little one to have a look at. As far as I was concerned, there was not a heck of a lot in the way of news as far as this stock is concerned. Guys, if you can throw my screen up, there we go. MTP on the NASDAQ. Big time volume here in the pre-market and 40% move to the upside. The top here from early on was about 325, 330. Above that, 350. Big level on the daily time frame. Sadly, we do not have locates on this, but still going to try anyways for MTP, guys. Big mover here with, from what I can see, not too much catalyst.
A quick update for you. I just checked. I was able to get some in there just as we were doing the Arun segment there, Brendan. So we actually do have locates. I checked twice in the free market. We didn't have them. We do have them now. Same levels as Brendan. I mean, the 350 for sure is going to be a big one. So I'm not too married to the idea of being short in front of the pre-market high because that 50 area is bigger. Saw that same thing play out in Jivo with $2 and 220. 220 was much more significant. Below 3 even, I might take a shot here, however, on this rollover. Anytime I don't see significant news, I just think the chance for it to come almost all the way back here, which would be $2, 210, is too great to pass up. And if I can catch it in the mid-90s in front of a 3, sort of an easy little area stop there, not have to worry about the high of day, I'll take that one shot. I don't want to risk it all the way to 325. But if it rolls over there, maybe I take another try at MTP. I know a lot of you guys with only 2.5 minutes to go, guys, so not much time here. Rocket in play again, up at 3.5%. It just made a breakout through 24.25. I had that level written down. It's very, very thinly traded, 500,000 shares, so I didn't want a pre-market execution at 9 o'clock, so I'm not going to have that trade. 25 even, a big level, 27 next stop to the upside. If it pulls back in, 24.25 becomes the obvious reload price for me. If you're already in there, it'd be an entry point to the downside. If there's a dip buy, I think 24.25 is the first level. Unlikely we'd see 23.50, which is definitely solid support on Rocket.
Yeah, Rocky, yesterday was a good one, and we'll see if it can do that again today. We're just getting a few things ready to rock and roll here as we go. We're still looking at Foot Locker. It did reject that 29 level, so that's still to go. And then we're going to look at some Nikola today. Obviously, we have on board as well Tesla, so we can quickly look at that TSLA here. What price level are we going to? Wow, we might open up at that high of the day, 250. We could break right through there, right off off open. Look, I don't even know what to do with Tesla anymore, but you just watch through that 250 level, and we'll see what it wants to do, but it's going to be coming up very, very soon here. Tesla through 250 could be a good trade. We have Alibaba coming as well. So lots on watch today, guys. Just be careful here. Alibaba's going to break 259 right now, so we're looking at 260 break for Alibaba, should be a good one, and then PDD on the downside. So a few little names we're looking at. Let's get this day started right.
Yeah, 50 seconds to go, and Rocket continues to push to the upside. It's just absolutely $25 could come into play very, very soon. I do want to quickly also jump back to BioNTech. We talked about BNTX. Sean mentioned Pfizer as well. Both of them are going to be in play. I'm going to take one shot, fading it in front of 72.20, but it's going to be a breakout through that high. With only 30 seconds to go, there is just a lot of giggling going on behind me. So obviously something funny is going to be happening here. I got those MTP shorts. We'll talk about that in a little bit. 20 seconds. It is Friday. There's going to be plenty of action. Tesla, BNTX, Alibaba as well. We'll be watching all of these off of this open. Let's drop the countdown and see what's going on, because you're cracking me up here, Valeria.
How much time left? 10, 9,
there it
8,
is.
let's
Dropping
go.
that little. What is so funny? I don't understand what's going on around here. 3,
wouldn't worry about
2, and 1. Let's ring that bell. Market is open. Baba pulls back, actually, oddly enough. I got into BNTX here, so BioNTech in front of that 72. Look, if it breaks the high, fair enough. We'll reverse into the long trade. Mentioned that all morning long. We'll look for a first out in front of 71 for like a 60, 70 cent type of a win. And then after that, you're looking for it to give a bigger retrade. Wow, okay, there we go. Let's slay that dragon right away out in front of that 71. So quick 60 penny winner. If it breaks 71, you're looking for something in the 69.50 to 70. The pre-market bottom is a target range, always fading those COVID positive news. And if I'm going to sell it, I'd rather sell it in BNTX than sell it in Pfizer, who I really, really like.
Okay, I did want to say we're now short PDD. Okay, there we go. We are now long. I don't know why that took so long there to get long on Uber there, but okay, so we're long Uber breaking through 31.50. We're going to give this one back down here to 31. So we'll give this one a solid 50 cents, hopefully to the downside now. Okay, PDD breaking up. So again, like I put the order in and we get that bottom wick right there off the open. So we got to give this one a little bit of room as well. Right now, Uber to the upside. We're going to give it all the way back down to 31.50. And here it goes, guys. Uber. Let's go, Brendan.
One from the watch list, guys. Sign up for the watch list if you haven't. Valeria has the link for you. Deere here, heavy equipment maker Deere, just testing these pre-market highs. This is all-time highs after earnings for DE, guys.
Wow, you can't fight that. I mean, wow. We kind of joked about trading John Deere today, and maybe should have been looking at it. So I can forget about the BOB, at least in the short term, through 260. Yeah, we just flushed off that about $1.50. I still have the order ready to go. If we get a 260 break at some point, we'll be all over it. I'm going to reload BioNTech if I get a shot. Whoa, and there goes. That was crazy. It didn't break 60s, though, for me.
What, Baba?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I got long too. I don't know what happened there, but we're long right now, 259.85. So we'll take that and see what happens with Alibaba. Long on Alibaba right now, and just crushing it on this Uber trade, Neil. Big time long right now at 55. So we're making tons of cash on this one. Long Uber 31.55, out a little bit right now. Let's give this one a little bit of room here on that. Good news yesterday, obviously from the state of California on a ruling. They able to extend operations until they get that looked at. In the meantime, here goes Alibaba looking to break through 260. It looks like it wants to go right now.
Yeah, I mean, I got the early trigger like you did, but it looks like it is actually trading through a couple of times here. It's a sort of right now a failed break. I reloaded in BNTX, BioNTech at 71.75. So we got more short there. Brennan, what do you got?
Another one, guys, from the past couple of days here. Rocket starting to go as well. Just took out 25 there on a huge volume spike. So Rocket up 6% so far today, guys.
Wow, you just cannot stop Rocket.
No.
It's just ridiculous. I did talk about a pullback potential on Rocket. It doesn't look like that's going to be in the cards for me, as I wanted 24, 25 on the way back in. You can pretty much forget all about that. I'm going to go ahead and take off the same type of win on half the trade in BNTX if we can go ahead and do that for like the 60, 70, 80 cent type winner, and then see if we can't run the rest of that 70. But as far as Rocket goes, you can play in front of the 25 break. There is room to that 27, but I much preferred catching that one at a good price on the way in and chasing it. Wow, I just don't know how much I'm in love with chasing this stock all the way up here. I might have to wait for a pullback, call it like 24.50 or so, but maybe a small piece in front of 25. I just can't bring myself to do it, guys.
87.70 we'll get out of most of, there it goes. Okay, yeah, we just get out there of some of our PDD as it does break back above. So there goes Pinduoduo back to the upside. We take a little bit of a win on the first bit there and then lose on the second bit. So Pinduoduo back to the upside. We still got some on waiting for that to go. Okay, here goes Alibaba, Neil, finally. Let's see. It does just retest back up there. Gets as high as 260.02 there on that break. So Alibaba right now tries to break through 260. We have this trade on as well, and we do have our Uber long right now as well, long at 31.55. So a couple shorts, actually one short PDD. There goes Uber again to the upside, so we just take some more out at 68. Let's see how high this one can go. I mean, I'm still thinking back up here, 31.80 and change for a nice little Uber win. But yeah, our Alibaba just bouncing around. It looks like it rejected that 260, so I'm going to be getting out down here somewhere, 258.50, something like that on this name. So long right now, 259.85, out of the money right now, 40 cents, but we do like it still north side.
Yeah, that 58's the bottom. I'm not giving it all the way to the low. BioNTech hasn't given me the out that I want for the first half. We'll get it soon. GVO here, guys, crosses 50 million shares and crosses $1.50, so it is headed back to the upside. We talked about that floor and all the bidding that was down there at $1.40 and the issue price at 130. It does look like it's ramping up once again for a run. I'd like pullback 150. I think we'd take for support this 145 in front of it as well. Look, it's down 13%, but keep in mind the $2 and $2.20 are the two key levels to the upside. That's the real resistance. Brendan, what do you got?
Another one, guys, to have a look at here. Shift Pixie, a little bit of an offering this morning. Wasn't huge, but tiny one. Coming back up to $5, so huge volume spike on the way through 450. We're immediately back to 5 here, up 43% for PIXY, guys.
Pixie. I did see a few people talking about this one in the chat and sort of late to it. And look, I just got out. It retested. Bob retested 260, and then I slid out manually. I can't get married to that position, and I'm not loving the price action I see. And then I get over to Pixie here to watch this 5 even break as we're speaking. Look, you always have to go to the higher time frame. I think it's worth noting there is a level up at like 560, 570, but I'm going to see if we can't get involved in the price action. Even though I expect some resistance at that price, there's plenty of room to run to be able to catch a little bit of this break here on a Pixie, maybe even giving it back into the previous tops here at 480. See if we can get into that 5/4, 550 type run to the upside. I did trigger in, just got 508s long, and I'll take this to the quarters and then to that 550, but I wouldn't give it much past 480s, guys. Baba, I'm going to be done for a little bit here on that one. BNTX, we did get out it again for another 80-cent win, and I will be taking that one all out in front of 70 even, which looks like it could happen any second now, guys. So another one, BNTX, it feels like fading any positive COVID vaccine news is the name of the game. So we line them up, we knock it down, a couple of entries here. I did get out first time, for like a 60-cent win. Second time for almost a full $1. The third time we are going to be looking for a $2 move here in BNTX, and I will not be done with it as long as it wants. Whoa, that was crazy. And did you guys just see that? $2 move in a split second on a dime. I'm about to get out of it, and next thing I know, it's breaking the high, and I'm reversed to the long, and I'm in the money 30 pennies in the long. I've never seen it. Like, it's ridiculous price action you see in this market today, guys. Insane, but this is why you take profit out, because you can take the winner here. When I reverse to the long trade, it's a small hit of like 30 pennies, and I'm immediately scalping out that 30 cents back and holding the long trade for the breakout on BNTX. Absolutely insane. One buyer just took it up the entirety of the opening range and then some. Fortunately, we had a stop, so we're locked and loaded and ready to go. We got the winner there for that one, guys. Baba's still holding, but now we're long BNTX and in the money 50 pennies here. I'm going to look to see if we can't, there's obviously a breakout to that daily range we talked about. I would look for 75 to be the new target to the upside. Thinking on the fly here, but you had to have a plan. 72.20. This is what we covered in our watch list. That's why you want to get it. That's why you want to get our opinions. Brendan, what do you got, bud?
This one wasn't on the watch list, but possibly should have been. Some activity here on a SPAC, guys. Shill, Tortoise Acquisition up 14%. Monster volume off the open here. It's gone from 29 through to 31 already for SHLL.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't talked too much about SPACs lately, but look at one company that's already IPO'd and has their own symbol, and that is Tesla. Up another 3.5% here. No trade for me yet on this name, but wow, it does make that move just like we thought it would off the open. Here it goes, guys. I mean, we're going to get 2,100 here soon. This move off the open, the same thing, breaks that high of 2050 in the 2048 in the pre-market, sees 2050 and just says see ya all the way up in one candle moves, that's 20 pennies, $20. And now you're going to the upside here of 20,000, 2,077. So a good one there. We did take out some of our Uber for win, but look at Uber just cratering down. We got to give this one to 31. Again, it's 50-cent loss. It'll be, we took on the upside 20 and some 30 cents. So Uber not really working. We did dump some of our Alibaba on that 259 break there, 259.03. You get out. We save ourselves a little bit of money, but then it bounces down here off 50. So waiting for that one to go. Pinduoduo just takes out 88 there. So that one makes the move to the upside. So that was a bad call on that one as well. So let's just try to find some different names here for you. Fastly making moves to the downside. Some of those other small stocks as well. Shill there, good look there. MTP making moves downside as well. But look at Fastly, guys, $92 making moves all the way down. Now watch out for these futures as we continue to go north side.
Yeah, I just got flushed out of our good, not my friend, but I know a lot of you guys have been watching Pixie. I took the shot there. I got flushed out when it broke that 80. You take a breakout trade, you've got to have a bit of an out. But I do want to get to that MTP. I was unable to get into position in front of that 3. Yeah, a bit of a mix-up with the shortable shares. I didn't, in fact, have them when I thought I did, but it is what it is. We do have them now. I'm going to look to see if we can't fade this one 280. Like I said, I think we can go up back to that 2 even. Very realistic here. Brennan, what do you got?
Neil, you'll be happy to know I do have the shares and the short, so thank you for that. GRWG, we've been talking about this one over the past few days here. Back to a significant level from yesterday, just in front of this 18. So a little bit of resistance possibly for Grow Generation here in front of 18. GRWG doing volume again, guys.
GRW. I traded that the first day that was active, and then I got away from it. I don't know why I did that. BioNTech has come back in. I just want to, before I get into MTP here, I need a pop for that to happen. BNTX, this was absolutely insane when it took the top off here. I did scalp the breakout price. I do prefer fading this news here as usual. But if it pulls back below 72, I'm just going to take that one out, the last third here for like a 25, 30 cent hit. We've already been able to make back what we lost on that. Well, we're trying to hold for a home run trade to the downside there. So I don't want to turn a winner into a loser ultimately here. That was crazy buy action, but it didn't really sustain the move yet. When it goes through 73, I'll think about getting out of these last shares at 72.25, but a very tight stop on the rest of them. My preference was, of course, to be short this, but the breakout looks good so far. Brennan, what do you got?
Pretty impressive move on NVIDIA off the open yesterday, guys. Look at this one this morning from 485 to 495, $10 in a straight line here for NVIDIA, guys.
Yeah, we're getting up to that high yesterday. Oh, we're actually we're past that high yesterday on NVIDIA. We do still have some of our Uber trade, but that's going to the downside. So we'll wait to see on that one. NVIDIA right now, yes, let's have a quick look. Yesterday's high, if I can get maybe a 3-minute chart on this one, may help us look at that a little bit better. But yeah, good look on NVIDIA. There it is. That's what we're talking about right there. 495. So 495 yesterday's high. Looking to that to break out past that level. If you did take that though, I guess you'd give it back to 492 and change back here on the backside, but NVIDIA's still up that 1.66% right now, looking like it may go. So watch out for NVIDIA here, 495.50. If that does go, you're gonna have to give it a little bit of room because right now, this is again a 3-minute chart. So if you break it down to 1, watch how violent this thing gets. Upside 492 up to 495 in a matter of minutes. So if it breaks that 495.50, watch out. You got to give it at least $2, I'd say.
Yeah, loving this BioNTech here. It just broke through 73, so we're in the money about $1 here. If it breaks 73.50, I'll trail myself out probably to like that 73 even marker. So I still have just about a break even stop on this for the final third. We did scalp the initial break here, guys. Like I said, 75 was the next level to the upside. I identified that in the daily. I'm definitely going to be getting out in front of that. If I get like $2, $2.50, somewhere in that range, I'll get out. It breaks in 74. I'll find a manual entry outside of there. I'm not going to be resting on the offer or anything like that. But trailing stop once it breaks 73.50, likely at 73 even. I did mention we did have a loser, guys, on Pixie. I took one and done on a breakout trade. If they're not going to go, I'm not going to fight it too much. I gave it back to that 80 mark. It ended up flushing to 450. I think if you're comfortable holding it to 450, fair enough. I just look for another entry point here. I think it might be, if it's going to be a long trend trade, it's likely to give you another shot here, maybe breaking and holding this 5. But until it tests and shows it has the gumption to get through that 520, I'll be hunting for at least an opportunity and a quick little rollover short because we have shares shortable in Pixie and we can take advantage of it. As far as MTP goes, I needed to get back to like 375 on a pullback for me to get that short.
Okay, there goes NVIDIA. So we are long right now, and we'll see if we can't take some profits on this as it goes to the upside. So we're long at 495.70 there. We just took some out ahead of 96. Let's see the action on this stock and see where we go from here on this trade. So 494.50, not a horrible out at all. So I think $1 is a good little look here for NVIDIA as we keep going now to the upside, making some more moves now. So a nice little win here, 80 cents in the money on NVIDIA. But look at the spread, guys. You got to make sure that you're able to get some of this out. Take momentum to take it to the upside here as you look to get out of some of this NVIDIA. We get out of half right there above 495, so a good little trade there. Long 495.70, only giving this one back probably to about 495.50. So, you know, winning here when you're giving about $1.20 on the backside. So we got to try to win at least that right now, and that would be 497. So here it comes right now. A nice little win to start the day here. We'll go Superman right here for NVIDIA. Still waiting for that Uber to get going now, though, but nice to have this one. Let's see if we can test 497 here on NVIDIA, guys.
Man, you got to be celebrating over there, Brennan, because this MTP just continues to fall here. Testing 250 now. You can pretty much write it off. I don't know if I'm even going to get a shot at that pullback. It's pretty much done. Gonzo. It did. Givo, on the other hand, we mentioned 140. There was a bit of bid support. It tried to break it. It broke that 145. It tried to break 140. It did not. Snapped right back to the upside. So we anticipated you could see like 10, 15 cent ranges. So far, that's going to be true. I'll probably be looking to scalp off a 140 level the next time it comes down here on Givo. But again, it's going to be in and out, smaller type wins, unless you get a move all the way up to that $2 range where I would dig in. That 130 price could have some support in it. We are still in the money $1 if you do see the position board there on BNTX, but it either breaks 24 or gives me like a 250 type of win, or it's very close to break even on the last third of that position. It's been a nice one for me. Want to make sure we don't turn that winner into a loser overall. I do also want to jump over to, well, actually, I didn't want to talk about Kodak. We could, but I wanted to jump over to, not MNTA. It was going to be Lyft. You were trading Uber there, Sean.
Yeah.
Lyft over here, if my chart will finally load, has flushed all the way back, testing the pre-market low. But 29.25 off what I think is sort of a positive outlook. You did get the bump to the upside. I think we can test holding in front of that low, at least for me. Lyft doesn't always have as much liquidity as Uber, but it's given some support down at 29.25. So if I can pick something up down here on the way back in, you know, quick, easy support, maybe a bottom pick, retrace back up to that 30 mark. I like the risk to reward on Uber here, or Lyft. So I'm going to take a shot here. 40s to 50s is an entry, out at 29.25. Brennan, what do you got?
Decent move here for Blink charging, guys. There's a monster bid on Blink right now at 739. Arca, big, huge bid. This one had some news yesterday. We were talking about big gap to the downside on a short seller note. Had a big rip, though, into the close. You can see we went from 7 to 8 right at the end of the day, kind of holding below that this morning. But yeah, this bid is 739 on Blink, guys.
All right. What about 1475 here on a little move with CCL? So CCL, a nice little move to the upside right now, catching that 1% plus. Oh, a nice little trade there. We get out there at 66 there for $1 and change on NVIDIA. Let's hold for 57s now and see how high that one can go. But yeah, Neil, you mentioned Lyft, and then Uber all of a sudden just started crashing back down. So I don't know if you were looking.
That's entirely my fault, man. Yeah. I literally talk about getting into Lyft. I get in, and then the second I do, like they go down. Thankfully speaking, it's going to be Kate. Look, it's going to be case close for me. We'll line it up and knock it down on BNTX on that reversal. You saw my shock and awe when it hard reversed off of 70 there. That was my target out, and it was just in front of my target out short before it all came all the way back, and I'm reversing to the long side. We did take some out for the scalp in front of 73. We just got the $2 winner in the final third of the position, and it's immediately testing that 75. I was looking to see any kind of a stall between 74 and 75. It did give a little bit of one. I just punched out, anticipating resistance here. So far, no. Maybe my bias of wanting to fade the news is a little bit too strong there because BNTX is continuing to be a big runner. It was a great long. I just wish maybe I'd held a little bit more all the way to 75 even. Brendan, what do you got?
One from the volume list this morning, guys. Las Vegas Sands, LVS here up 3%. Just popped up again on a volume spike through 49 there. Decent level on the daily chart as well, that 49. So not no news related as far as I can see, but LVS with a pretty good move off the open here, guys.
All right, here we go. Slaying is finally getting a trade off on here right now, $1.70 in the money on NVIDIA. So a good little deal here for us going to the upside on this name. So nice little profits to be had on NVIDIA. We'll just watch this thing continue to go to the upside. 497.50 there was that top. We're long right now at 495 and change. So move this back over and just give you guys a little bit of a look there. 495.60, top side 497.50. It's probably a decent out right there to take that through. There goes CCL. Okay, so we're going to give this one back down to 58 here. This is where we sort of came from on the 1 minute chart. So I don't know why this was a gap there. Maybe we gapped up there, but 58, we'll give it all the way back down here. So now we're making some moves to the upside. CCL, let's see if this one wants to continue northbound here for us, as NVIDIA is still that dollar in the money. We did average into Uber a little bit down here at 92. So nice to see that go back to O's before coming back in once again. So 14.58 here is going to be our out on, what is this, CCL. So watch out for that. We also are looking at this 80 on the upside.
That OGen, just to check back in on another name from our list, no chance. It doesn't even test that 110, 112 level we're looking at. Still have my order sort of ready to go. I mean, the off chance that it does make a big push to the upside, I didn't think BNTX would take the top off, and seconds after I mentioned it, it did. If OGen does, I'll go long at not 110, today's high 112, yesterday's top. Lift is out of the money for me. I have that 29.25 support. If it breaks out, I'm just going to take this one off here. Also, MTP, I am starting something. I just, maybe a little bit early on this one. I did see it pull back into like 70, just shy of where I wanted, like 75, 76, but then flush hard. So in this consolidation, I'm going to see if we can't take a first shot on MTP. I think there's a chance it gets back to 2 even, but at this point, I have to go with tighter stops than normal. I probably will not let it go past 75 first. 3 even would be the next level that I really, really prefer to be testing on MTP here. Givo, doing plenty of volume. I'm just not seeing much of a trade there yet. I think there will be at some point, just nothing yet.
Okay, yeah, Givo, everything right now. What were some of the other names we talked about? Let's look at Alibaba one more time off of that. We did flush out on Alibaba early, and then now it's just, I mean, what a range-bound trade this has been all day. So we'll fall asleep on this, back down. So, I mean, this is up and down. Literally, like, this is the problem with these markets right now. The liquidity is just not there. Like, 260 is the top, and 258 is the bottom, and we've made that trip like 4 or 5 times. So nobody seems to be able to make up their mind. But we did go eventually short here on NVIDIA. We did dump our last little bit of shares as well on that stock. So now let's see if NVIDIA wants to continue to go to the downside here on a little bit of a breakdown now on the market. So NVIDIA right here, we did cash in nicely out at 496 and change. Then we get into this short right here. Watch out for this to break up lower on this play. But Uber, we got out of that one as well. CCL, we're waiting, and NVIDIA, we got that short. What's up, B?
If anyone's looking at this HUD, HUD, this is a buyout today. HUD, $300 million or $311 million deal, $7.70 per share. It's being bought by Dufry or Dufry. DUFN is the buyer, but HUD in New York here up 0.8%. Not a huge move. Looks like it was actually a couple of days back, but decent volume here for HUD, guys. 770 all cash.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for trade if you have direct market access like we do. So you might see me get involved in that, just taking a couple pennies here or there on larger size. I want to get to Pinduoduo on our watch list, guys. So check this one out. I did mention I didn't love this trade. I don't like getting into super thin stocks up before the open. But look at this opening range high, 88.30. I also have a level here at 88.50. 88.80. That little price range. I'm going to go with 50 as a breakout potential. But on the bad news, down 11%. The first look is going to be to the short side. 88 in front of that 88.50 I'll do. I'm not going to take a break of the low. It did hold that so far. We also mentioned 84 was below this 86 level. Failed break off the open. It's going to try 86 again. If it does, I'll take a small position here, but I actually would much prefer to be fading in front of this 88.50, which will be a reverse to the long side if it ever does go. Let's see if we can't get in here on an 86 break as well. I don't see a ton of size standing in the way, so it's more of a technical level. It doesn't really have a big bid or anything like that we have to worry about. But let's see if we can get some Pinduoduo through the bottom end break. I do still have that MTP. It's basically flat. It's not really moving too much. But I will also take this Pinduoduo if it comes up $1.50 or $2 or so. I think the other name that we talked about, at least a little bit in relation to BNTX, is Pfizer. BNTX takes the top off. Pfizer just comes all the way down, and I'm going to burn myself at some point always wanting to dip buy Pfizer. Just sort of looking at last week or yesterday's action, there was this sort of support down at like 38.50. If it consolidates down there, yeah, you'll probably see me slide in and try to bottom pick Pfizer, in the first hour of the day and see if it can't rebound back to that 39 mark, guys.
Did we want to have a look? Wow. As I was going to say, did we want to have a look at Apple here to the upside? And wow, yes, we did. Apple just blowing upside here. APPL and Q, AAPL. What am I doing? AAPL there on the NASDAQ. 842. Wow. Yeah, this was a name that we should have been on like crazy off the open, but we were not. You can see this level here, 930 coming into play there, or at 930. 480 upside. Bang. Let's check out Softy. A little bit of a slower mover than Microsoft. Obviously half the price, but that doesn't mean that it won't go give you the returns that you're looking for. And I mean, it's so choppy, all of these stocks today, up and down, and I don't really see any clear direction in many of these names today. Let's go back over to AMD right now if we can. $83 now with a nice little move up, now back down, so some consolidation right now. This is not a horrible spot. 83.21 here for AMD. Let's take AMD. Yeah, okay, I don't mind this. What are the futures doing? Okay, upside now positive for the day. So 83.21 here. Good little look possibly on AMD. 83.21 we do, 83.20 I guess. We do like that one if it does make that move back upside. 82.60 for the bottom. So let's watch out. These futures look like they want to go again, guys.
Yeah, and Rocket continues to rocket to the upside. I mean, just no significant pullbacks in store, so I had to find one way to get into this. But Deere, on the other hand, John Deere breaks 200 and is now retesting in. I'd actually look at like 199, 199.50 as a bit of support to watch this one on a pullback. With Deere looking very, very strong on solid volume. Brendan, what do you got?
This one, guys, recent high flyer here, UAVS. If you remember, Amazon, they make drones. Amazon looking at this company for their drones possible delivery. Big flush to the downside yesterday, but we're right back up to where it broke this daily range, 270. So a nice look here, 15% on decent volume as well for UAVS, guys.
And I miss AMD there, so we'll fall in a hole there. I missed it through that 83.05 level, but there it goes, comes back in, and we're starting to get filled up a little bit right now. There we go, we are long. So now we're long at 83.07 here on a break. We're gonna give it back to 82.80 down here where we came from on this. So that's not a bad little risk and reward here. We'll give it downside about 20 plus pennies and see if we can make anything moving up now on AMD. So we're going long on AMD, 82.80 will be the breaker spot on the downside. So just cashing a little bit out here if we can in the teens. We got as high there as 25. That was kind of the level that we also did indicate. So I think we can get back up there, but right now bouncing a little bit. We were waiting at 13 bounces off of us. So we got to give this back at least to 83.25 today, guys.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up like a 10-minute here for Sorrento for you guys that are watching. Flush off the open. Today is the day I don't have it short. I'm going to get to MTP, which is 10 cents in the money. I'll start taking it off now, and I want to hold half of it on a 250 break if I can, short at 262 half. But this is the bottom here, 10, 13, 10 even. Last time it was here on Sorrento, I was looking at that break and I called it 10 even. But if it bounces, Sorrento sometimes gets you a nice little bid and you can make some money catching the bottom. We missed the 11 break. We missed the bottom end of yesterday's low being taken out. So let's make sure we don't miss if this gets to 10 even on Sorrento. I'm taking a 10 break, but if it turns around at that price, I'm going long with a 10 stop on Sorrento. I wanted it a few days ago. I'm going to put that one in. Pinduoduo, I just got triggered into the short on that one. But MTP about to break 250, just made a 12-cent win on the first quarter of that position. Brennan, what do you got?
Buckle, a little apparel maker, BKE in New York, 25% big-time beat on their earnings. They reported this morning. Pre-market blew things out of the water, expected loss, reported decent profit for Buckle, guys, up 25% on that.
What was the name there?
BKE.
Okay. We'll look at that in a minute here. Uber also falling back down. Maybe give us another spot to possibly get back in here on Uber. It does make that move down to 30.70. That would have been a nice little buy down there. But again, off that huge move yesterday, state of California there with the injunction, some court. You see the pop from 12.45. This was 28.79 all the way up here to 31.50. So what a great move. Almost $2 there yesterday afternoon. So not making the moves right now. Not making a move right now is CCL. Like, we took it out there. It does go in the money a couple pennies, but now we're waiting for this thing to come back down. It looks like we will be getting out here around this 58 level. That's right where VWAP is. So if this one falls down, then this one falls down and we'll have to get out of CCL. We tried this name again. I like CCL. It's been a good name for us, but not right now. AMD coming back down. downside again. Good thing we cashed out of half, so this will be roughly a flat trade again if we do break back down. And I don't know, the moves just aren't really happening for me today. They're not going to the upside here. We're having to wait. We're getting faded. We're making the wins, but then they're not following through. The only big trade that we were able to have on today was AMD as I look at the board, or sorry, it's NVIDIA, but we'll go back to AMD soon. We still are long. Thank you, Valeria, on that one. We're out of the money 10 pennies, so it's not that much of a worry, but just no follow through, not as strong as we hoped on some of these names.
Yeah, I'm going to go and hit the yeehaw action for this trade, but mostly because, look, it's a solid win on a 250 stock. If I can take 10 cents on half of it, I'll be kind of happy with that. But the reason I hit Brendan's is because MTP, I know you got this somewhere at a much better price, maybe like 75, 80. If you have it in front of 3, that was the price I was in love with at the open. Look, it does look like it's trying to turn around here. I did say I had a tighter stop than normal, so I will be getting out now closer to break even. I mean, my price here is 64, so like a 65, 66 break even out. If it breaks 50s, a good shot to get down to that quarter, and then 210 was the previous close on MTP. Like Brendan said, just not a heck of a lot of substance as to why it's up. So once it really starts to slide back in, if the buyers don't jump in on the open or something doesn't come up, I'm always going to be looking to fade these. And I think that's because people who are looking for a catalyst or a bump off the open, that are sitting there long overnight or long in the pre-market, they don't get it. They start selling, and I want to join that party as a short seller.
And we can finally hit the siren alert. I know maybe Valeria was good luck there because AMD just instantly rockets up there. We tested back down here, 82.80. We talked about that. Then we get the move back upside on AMD. So nice little break on that name upside. So good trade there. Finally, that one works out for us. So that's a good one. Really happy with AMD. We're not almost out. We got about a quarter left on this name as we keep going to the upside. A nice little 15 plus penny winner there. Looking to take out some of these levels. This was our target zone. So we almost got there. We got as high as 36 there. Wow, I didn't realize that. We'll have to put some orders out just in case we pop one more time to AMD through 30. So again, a good little level there for us. AMD making moves upside now. I think we can clear, like I was saying, these moves are very, very violent today. Like, look, now we come all the way back down. Like, this is swinging like crazy. The liquidities just doesn't seem to be there on a lot of these tech names. So we got to wait for this top side 83.41. But the way this thing's moving, man, you're swinging 20 plus pennies back and forth here on AMD. So I think a lot of our outs have been pretty good so far. Futures making moves to the upside. So maybe this will make another push as we look to go northbound on AMD once again. We are ready now at the big screen, though, with Brendan and happening now. Let's find out what's happening in the broader market, guys.
Hey guys, 10 o'clock. Let's have a look at North American markets. Bit of a mixed showing as we were expecting so far today. U.S. markets back in positive territory nicely. We're dealing with the Dow leading the way so far, 0.3% to the upside. The S&P 0.16. You can see NASDAQ was trying to get back into positive territory first, as we mentioned in the pre-market, but kind of struggling here now. Just 0.2% for the 100, 0.1% for the composite. The Russell negative on the day, 0.4% to the downside. Here in Toronto, the TSX struggling. Energy weak. We have gold miners weak as well, 0.6% to the downside for the TSX. The BOVESPA in Brazil, 0.4% if you're joining us from Brazil. Here's a gold miner, Kinross, to the downside today, 1160 down to 1130. Decent volume on the sell side today for all of the gold names. Watch out for some sell pressure in energy stocks as well. Enbridge here, 0.3%, not a huge move, but 43.25 down to 43. So it did hold 43 at the bottom there. So a heads up if you are looking for support on Enbridge. TD as well. Some of the banks I noticed very weak to start the day. However, check out the volume down there. Very, very low on the participation side of things today for the banks, guys. Back over to you.
Thanks a lot, Brendan. I'm very excited for this, guys. Just have a special announcement to make to all of you. Look, you guys love the live show. We're always going to keep it live here for you every single day and free, but we're always thinking about ways that we can improve it, what we can do. And so we're thinking about something where you can have some engagement with the three of us, the entire trade team, and it's going to be in September, an exclusive once a week Q&A session with myself, Sean and Brendan. We'll go $39 for it. The idea being you submit questions ahead of time. We'll come in there, answer them to you guys, personalized. We think it'll be a good experience for you. We want to see what the engagement will be like. If you're excited about it, let us know. Even drop a comment right now what you might think about it. Drop something to myself, Sean, or Brendan at Twitter. So the idea is going to be, it is a live Q&A session, 3 times only exclusively in September, and we want to get your feedback. It'll be an hour and a half long in the afternoon, not interfering with the live show, guys. This will be after we're done, so you don't miss out on any of this. Let us know what you think of it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for us to do. We love engaging with you guys. We love talking about winners and losers, but answering your questions can be a lot of fun, because I think we learned something too from that, Sean. I do want to jump back into trading for a quick bit here. I missed out on Rocket once, twice, 3, 4, 5 million times to the upside here. I just tried again to catch it on the bounce at 25.25. It held the top end of the day so far, so you're getting another range bound at the top end, about 50 cents. 25.75 is a high, 25.25 be the pullback. I'm not going to be shorting this name unless it's below like 24.75, something along those lines. But Rocket, I hope some of you guys got this baby, because it's a rocket ship. Pardon the pun, guys. It just keeps going.
Yeah, Rocket is moving upside, and thanks, Neil, for that announcement. Look, we're super excited about that for sure. Someone said, would we record it? Yeah, we record it, and then the members would be able to watch the previous shows, so you don't necessarily need to worry about missing it. That's very key. We do get a lot of action on Twitter asking us, hey, I missed the show. What can I do? YouTube obviously is free. This will be a members-only thing, so good on that, and we'll wait to see what the response is going to be. So let's just keep on rocking and rolling, though. In the meantime, Carnival Cruise Lines, again, this is what I'm talking about with the liquidity. Look, nothing happening in the marketplace, yet Carnival just goes from 61 right up to 75 again. So what a surprise there for Carnival Cruise Lines, right back to the upside there. So that's good. I'm long, nothing to complain about, but really no reason for this. So I think it's a good idea to maybe get some out right now and just kind of lick some of those wounds. We're long at 76. We could take some out at 71. We'll do that and then wait for that downside break again. A VWAP down here at 58. So if we can, I'm still thinking Carnival goes upside here. The futures can bounce now. It looks like they've caught a little bit of a bottom there. So Carnival Cruise Lines looking to make some moves here. We'll see if we get some out. But other than that, man, it's going to be a good show today. The market, I do see some people talking here about the market is boring. And look, we can't control that.
Gvo's about to hit 100 million shares. I mean,
what are you supposed to do?
There's a million things around here, man. I'll get to Pinduoduo in a second, but look, I said I would take a shot in front of like 135, 130 on Gvo if it came down there. Yeah, we just got there right now. So I started building something at 137 just to show you guys the level too. I mean, there is, look, it's 100 million shares are done. So it's not going to care too much about a 250,000 on the bid, but it's a decent enough size. 130 is the issue price. I'm taking my shot. We do have that Pinduoduo long in the 80 or short on the 86 break. It's only in the money like 10, 15 pennies at a time here, guys. So not much movement there. It is working, just not by a heck of a lot. Brendan, what do you got?
WFC, guys, watch some of the banks here. I just saw a little bit of a note. WFC coming out saying that they're going to resume some of the job cuts that they announced earlier this year. They kind of put them on pause during the pandemic, but looks like that is going to be resumed. So Wells Fargo here in negative territory. Not a huge move, but did get a little bit of a spike on that, guys.
All right, we're pretty good here on Pinduoduo as well, Neil. Oh, there it is. Okay, a big flush there. Was not expecting that. Nice little win for us as well. I know you have it. I have a decent amount of shares as well here. Finally taking it for the second time on that break. So now we're going to give it a little bit of a shot there. Yeah, smash the like, smash everything. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Of course, my bid was down here in the 20s. We only got to the 40s, but we did take some out there, 48 on Pinduoduo. Now here it comes downside, screaming to the downside. A nice little 40-cent chicken dinner winner. See if we get some out now and some out later, but we do like this trade right here.
Yeah, I just took the scalp out on there was a 50 size seller that I just took some out on. But I think, look, ultimately we talked about this level. If it were to go, you still have the actual bottom from the pre-market 84 lingering. I think that's going to be the target for me on the rest of the shares here. And if it breaks 84, that's another trade in itself. So nice little win here. I'll get to Gvo, which is bouncing to the upside, so that's in the money, a couple pennies. Looking for like 145, as I guess is about a top on that one. But well done here on Pinduoduo.
Yeah, 82.80 going to break here. I don't know why. Oh, it's 70.75 here on AMD. So AMD, look, was a good winner. We'll give back a little bit on this stock right now, but we got out on that big bump moving backside. And it's silly if I'd get out of everything. So we're going to hold a little bit now. Coming back down here, AMD will get flushed out right now. We should have been out of AMD already. 75 was the order to go. Don't know why we didn't get out there. 31.75. Oh, no, sorry. This is Pinduoduo. I put on AMD up here. AMD, come on AMD, now 82.58 downside here on AMD. Don't know why that didn't crack, but here it comes crashing back downside. Watch out, the liquidity is very, very light on this name. That's AMD, guys.
Yeah, I mean, going to get to SHLL. Shill is just 10% to the upside, but coming back in. It's trying to make a hard bounce off this like 28.50 area. Worth noting, it moves kind of more pre-market support, a little bit lower than that 28.20. I kind of like this 30 area for a bit of a rollover trade. You know what? I kind of like to hunt for these shorts. You guys know how I try to do here. If I can get something rolling in front of 30 back to the downside, I would look to be a seller. And using this little high here, 30.15, 30.20 is a bit of an area out. The reason I say area out, if I see a 10-cent spread, having a hard stop at a specific round number price just never makes any sense to me. Let's see it actually try to trade through that range and then make a decision. So I'll have it up on one of my level 2 so I can do it manually here. Not over trading today, so I have the ability to sort of monitor a few things. So I want to see if I can get in shy of that 30 range for a quick little short. If you're fighting a trend, and Shill's been an upward trend, you want to make sure you have both an out and the readiness and discipline to take it. So I'm going to stick with that. Pinduoduo still heading southbound here, but I'll get back to Jivo in a second. That looks like it took out the bottom, so that long cost me a couple of pennies and did not work. Coming all the way back in, let's see if it holds the issue price 130.
Yeah, what is going on, Pinduoduo? We've taken it out a couple
offering price.
Yeah, we've done. Yeah, it's doing great. We've taken a couple trades out there. We just get one right there at 30, so good. I wasn't sure if we were going to get that, but we did get it. Pinduoduo down there at 30, so nice little 40-plus penny win. I'm going to wait ahead of 85 here. I do like an 85 break to the downside as well, but right now we're just kind of bouncing around on Pinduoduo, so maybe take a little bit more out here before we wait for the ultimate crash to come, and that should be down through 85 even. So right now we'll put another bid out, get some more shares out if we can. Remember, like the spread is kind of nasty, so actually no, it's okay. Actually, right now it's only 2 cents. When it opens up is when it gets a little bit bad. So I will wait on that one. Look at Carnival all the way back now. We did take a little bit out at 71. Let's see how high we need to get here on Carnival Cruise. We come all the way down here to 58. So if we're going to hold it that far against ourselves, we need to make sure this one can go and give us a little bit of a win. The reason why I like this, again, Carnival Cruise, it seems like, it was my best stock for a little bit there. We haven't traded in a while, but we're trying to get going here. The bottom is at 14.18. It's just, if this can be a positive day and we get some good news over the weekend, I think Carnival Cruise could go. We can even open up here above 15. So we do have this trade on. Let's see if this one can make it back into the money for us, which it is right now. A nice little 3-penny win on Carnival, but we need more, guys.
Yeah, and I still have half that MTP position. I did mention to you I would take half out in front of 250. I did. It pulls back, does not break the break-even stop that we have here up around 265, but it's got to take this level. Once it does, like I mentioned, 225 would be the next target to the downside. I definitely take shares out in front of it. 210 the previous close. That's kind of like your home run idea. I'm always going to be all out in front of the previous close on a gap up. There's no way I'm holding through expecting that big of a winner, but it's a nice trade here in the money now, 16 pennies. So we'll look for about 20 as I get some shares out at 45. There we go. Let's do this one. I can't do it in real life. I could at one point in my life, but this backflip action on that. And look at me bald in that one. I got all my hair here, Rob. Let's see if we can't get 225 on the rest of these shares, but a nice little 20-cent win for the next quarter. We'll continue to hold this one. I might slide my stop down if we break 240 definitively. I might slide my stop to like 55, 60 range. You don't want to turn a winner into a loser, but the trend has been all downside. This one was on our watch. Brendan mentioned we didn't see any material news that we thought could sustain the move to the upside, so we both were looking to short this one. I got it a little bit late, but late to the party, still dressed well with the short trading MTP.
Yeah, I'm going to get back on these stocks. I mean, they just seem to be just developing themselves so not easily, but so nicely. MTP, another good trade there for everybody. PDD, a nice trade on Pinduoduo. We just cashed out at 27 as well. So back-to-back shorts at this level, trying to make everything back. And again, it's just getting involved too early, I think, on some of these names. You take this, and like I talked about, the liquidity was just too much. Like I get stopped out there and stopped out at that top range. But right now we're waiting for 85 to break with a big trade here on Pinduoduo. Pinduoduo. And then CCL trying to get some 80s. It stopped at 80 a couple times, so we're long at 76. But we're trying to get a little bit on 80, and then we'll get some rest out upside, hoping that we can get to 15, like we just mentioned to you earlier. Nothing yesterday at 15, so let's break through 80, and then there it goes, 82.83. Nice little win there. So siren alert on CCL. Hopefully you guys have that, and we're able to hold that back down. Here goes PDD, Neil. Some size on the bid, getting taken out, no problem there. Here we go to the downside. We got a big win happening for us on PDD, but right now, back over to the screen with Brendan and his upgrades and downgrades. Give us another name, bud.
Hey guys, yeah, upgrades and downgrades time. Let's have a look at what is moving on an upgrade today. Estee Lauder, a nice look off the open. Volume already kind of dying down though. We had Oxy, we had Mech and Uber with an upgrade today, but yeah, still struggling a little bit. Had some existing home sales data out there at 10 o'clock, came in a little bit below expectations. DR Horton, an interesting look. I'll show you that one in a second. And this one as well, Noble Energy to the downside today. On the downgrade, lots of them from the energy group. This one upgraded today, Oxy, but doesn't matter, still falling. Oxy along with oil prices, DHI, DR Horton. It's trying here at 74. Every time it gets down to 74, it holds. Decent volume behind this as well, but couldn't get above that 75 area on that last push to the upside. Even with that number, it was kind of in line with expectations, but a little bit on the light side. Guys, back over to you.
Thank you very much there, Brendan. I just got into that chill. We're going to start that position in front of like 30 even. I got some at 70. We'll take some maybe in the 80s as well. I do want to jump over to what I thought might be a bottom break. It never happened, and it's going to be NEO bouncing to the upside here. Let's make this look a little bit better for you guys. Look, 1420. The current high double top action that it's making, that's what draws my attention. Look, you miss out on the opening range break trade. Look, I'm going to have a range break to the downside because I thought it would be a short, but ultimately, you only short it if it hits your conditions. It never did. It breaks to the long side. I might actually be considering a bit of a rollover type idea here, but 14.23 or 25 breaks, that's the current high. You're going to have to get out of this one. At least I'm going to have to get out of it if I take a shot here. So any consolidation I get, maybe I'll take a retracement trade. That's partly biased, I think, speaking here, but the market rolling over. Neil's been relatively weak. You get that ramp up. It's starting to trail off in terms of volume as well, so the buying could be abating just a little bit. So I'll take it in front of the high of day. No way I'm holding through that.
Okay, yeah, just looking on here, guys, follow us all on Twitter, on Instagram, everywhere. You can get us some questions and let us know what you think about that idea that we did have there about the Q&A. So that should be a good one for us for sure, and for you guys. Looking forward to helping as many people as we can. 14, so I've adjusted my stop here back down. Now that we've taken out some profits, we don't, like we keep mentioning here, we don't want to turn winners into losers now. So we're going to give this one back to about 64, 65 now on CCL. So we took some out already. Nice little trade through 80. We did talk about that. We're long at 76. So trying to make this one happen on the upside right now of CCL. So a good trade there. We saw AT&T with some big, KSS is down now to $19. So Kohl's down to this $19 spot. We saw them off earnings, was not good last week or this week, earlier on in the week. And now we're coming back down in. That's Kohl's looking to do some damage. And someone said, does Apple only go up? Well, I mean, it does come down sometimes, but not often enough. If you're shorter, watch out for 481. It looks like right now, Apple does make a high there of 484, looking to break through 483 right now. That is Apple. We'll look at Microsoft for you when we get back. What's up, Brad?
Just an update on this Pixie, guys. We were talking about $5. That's, way back here. We're now at $6 on Pixie. 72% move, 45 million shares. All I can see is they announced they're moving their company headquarters to Miami. This is a staffing company, employment firm. So nice move here, to say the least, for PIXY, guys.
Where's NVIDIA breaking out now?
There we go. Let me just flush myself down the toilet on that Pixie because I did take a shot at the breakout trade and I got shaken out of this trade to the long side, and I guess I didn't have enough conviction. And then, to be perfectly honest, when you talk about the news there, I mean, it's hard for me to have that much conviction just looking at price action. So that's going to be a fail for me. It's not a gigantic hit because you have a stop. But man, look at this nice trend to the upside. I'm going to be looking to sell this at some point, and that's not really enough of a catalyst here to sustain a move all day. But you have to wait for it. Maybe we'll get a a parabolic move up that actually gives you a haul. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen. 6 even just turned around. But you also went to that daily chart. And we did mention this level here that I thought would have been a bit of resistance, 580. It didn't. There's your 630 price. This is in the middle where it would turn, which I don't usually love, to be honest with you guys. So I would have preferred like a 6 or 630 area turn as opposed to right here, right now. But if it does here, maybe we'll take our shot through like a 560 break to the downside, and then you run that one all the way back to VWAP, 10% return. But I don't like how far you have to give it up to that 6 even. You're risking like 40 cents to make 50. Not the best entry point, guys.
NVIDIA looking to go to the top side there. We did have a couple nice longs here on NVIDIA, so those have been good for us today. We didn't, this one does get upside. We get out nicely there before crashing back down, and now looking to take out 498.90 right now to the upside. So we'll take a look at that 498.90 now moving to the upside. So a possibility here for another breakdown of this stock. We'll see what happens at 500. But right now 497, 498 coming into play there as well. So 498 maybe could be a crack zone there for a 499 break upside. 498.80. Let's take a long here if we can get it in NVIDIA. We'll go to Brendan right now. What's up, bud?
Nothing as far as the move is concerned on this one, guys, but an interesting story nevertheless. Blackstone rumored to be possibly interested in TikTok. So we had Twitter, we had Oracle, we had Microsoft. Now apparently Blackstone, BX here in New York, not really doing a heck of a lot on that news, but interesting look, guys.
Yeah, we'll lose about 5 to 10 cents. A couple of outs there on NEO to the top side trade. It breaks the high. You can't hold on to it, guys. You take it in the teens. You get out in front of 25. But I want to get back to Shill. We did take that rollover trade. I did want to add to my position in front of 30. We did get 29.70s. I'm looking for a break of 29 even here and then getting out in front of the lower day. About $1 worth of a winner. If it does not break 29, maybe I'll trail it and then get out for like a 40 or 50 cent win. But it's consolidating in my favor, so we're hanging on to the winner for now. Time for Valeria. What do you have for us there?
Hi trading family, I hope your day is going great so far. If you joined us for the first time, please subscribe and catch us live every day. And please share the link with your friends and post it on social media. Let the world know about our great community. And guys, smash the like button and back to traders.
Yes, sir. Back to us right now. We have NVIDIA on board right now with a nice little winner. 498.80, 498.80 break. We get 95s. Cash them out there, 33s for a nice little 40+ cent win. We're going to give this one all the way back down here. 497, I believe I put the order in. Yeah, 497 and 3/4. So that's about $1 worth of risk there for that. So we're thinking that this can break through now 500. So we'll wait to see if that does come through. But we'll have another order upside at 499.80, and if that comes, great. If not, we got to give this one a little bit of a shot here, giving it about $1. Look, we would normally give NVIDIA more space than this, but because we're at such a key level 500, you could get a fade right back down, and we don't want to give up what we've made here early on NVIDIA. We did just take out about 25% there for that 40 cents. So even if it does drop down, which it's seen now, it's coming right back down. So you got to watch out for this 497.75 area. We could get flushed again on this. Look at the moves though, man. I mean, again, it's a liquidity issue for me. Just hoping that the liquidity vacuum is to the upside on this name. That's NVIDIA, guys.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic movement. And a lot of these big flying names, we got small caps moving around here. I just want to get back to BioNTech. We talked about the Pfizer and BioNTech news. Just sort of reiterating what's going on with the COVID vaccine. It's pulled back in off of a high. Had a nice win. But look at this 75 that's held lower high here. Let's see if we can use this level to our advantage. For me, short in front, this one on a pullback trade, maybe get you back to VWAP with a stop in and around that 75 even. I'll look at this and see if I can't get an entry in front of it. It's time for our small cap recap. Let's go to Brendan at the big screen.
It is 10:20, small cap time already. Let's have a look at what was moving around in small cap world. This one to start, GEVO, G-E-V-O. What a difference a day makes. The volume, yes, is definitely there. The price action, however, not so much. Really, really tight range here. We talked about 130. That was the offering price. So down here, 130 coming into play once already, but seems to be a little bit of support here. So 160, if you go back to yesterday, ended up being a bit of a pivot throughout the afternoon. So it's just using that 160 short in front of the 160, out down in front of 130. On a day like this, you got to take what you can get. MTP, the other one, big mover to the upside in the pre-market. Again, yeah, we couldn't find any real catalyst as to why. $3, $3.30, so little consolidation there right at the open. Under 3 out at 250 there, still breaking to lows on the way down for MTP. And this one, yeah, it was a bit of a non-event. Little sleeper, FRSX. Got out of that one because it was kind of boring. Guys, back over to you.
Boring.
Yeah, I just got out of that shill because it kind of wicked me out here. I talked about that consolidation off 29. I said if it held, I'd get back out and lock in like the 40-cent win. That's what I ended up doing. It feels like I might have gotten tricked here. If 29 breaks, I might jump into this position one more time, more of like a momentum play into the low of day with a sort of a quick trigger out for a secondary push. But look at this bid here, Sean. Pinduo Duo at 85. I think if that goes, we'll be both very, very, very happy here.
Yeah, we would be. And I dumped a few of my shares there, but check out Genius Brands, Brendan. You might want to look at them quickly. Nice little move upside here, breaking through 122. Now making that move to 135. Genius Brands up 12+% right now. So watch out for them taking out this 136, 140, maybe the upside. We'll go long 140 and just see if this one has any legs to it, coming back down to 132 and change there. Really nothing happening here other than, actually, maybe you can give it even back down to 120 on a break. So we'll see here. Genius Brands, possible news. Brendan will come up with that. If that does have anything behind it, we will be there. So, but other than that, man, here comes some size at 140. So that could be something to look for there as well on GNUS, guys.
Yeah, crazy action there. And I sort of mentioned to you guys, if Sorrento Therapeutics got down to 10, I was going to take a shot at it. Literally got triggered on this little wick here. I already had my stop locked and loaded, ready to go. That's a level for at least a few days. I've been waiting for it to come down to see if I can test it. I just think it's a decent opportunity looking at that, how it turned off that level last time, about 10-13. If it can hold, I think we have a good shot to get back to that 50 to 60 range. We are coming in rather heavily, so my stop is locked and loaded. You got to be disciplined with a name like that. Brendan, what do you got?
Yeah, nothing as far as headlines that I can see as of yet, guys. Going to keep looking on GNUS. But yeah, huge volume spike there. But look at this, right back down once again for Genius Brands. Also, Rocket, guys, all-time highs for RKT.
Yeah, I just noticed. I just noticed that breaking through Rocket there, breaking through 27 and change. Should have been on that one super early. You guys indicated that early on in the chat, and that would have been a good one there. So 2680, having a problem with 2680, but I think that's a good long to take right now. 2680, guys. Rocket.
Yeah, Rocket's just absolutely a rocket ship, like you keep talking about. Sorrento, I did get a couple of legs in here just to update it. 1025 is going to be my average price. I'm literally not going to take anything out until we get very close to the 1050 mark, like in the 40s or so, and then I'm looking to see if we can't run this one back to the upside. It's got to hold this level. Pinduo Duo, as frustrating as it is, I'm going to go with a break even on the rest of this. I was looking for the absolute home run into 84. You're going to see it start to turn around here, and I don't want it to break too far past 86 even. I'm short here at 85, 90. I just got to make sure we don't turn. We already took half out for a win, so I don't want to turn a winner into a loser. Sorrento starts to work in the money for us, but not a heck of a lot. It's got to be a minimum of like 15 to 20 cents before I start thinking about taking anything off, guys.
On Sorrento, yeah, good look there. Okay, so the Rocket is now coming back in and fading this play throughout. So we'll wait to see what that one wants to do. But we're not giving that one, like I said, we're not going to give this much room at all, needless to say here. And there it goes. So we dropped some Rocket off there. We tried it, and it doesn't come through. So Rocket there to the downside. That's fine. We thought there was maybe some little opportunities to get back to 27 and change. So we take that 20-cent hit there and flush that down the toilet. So right now, Rocket making the moves back downside. But other than that, not much else happening, man. We're waiting for CCL, Rockets there, Apple. Wow. We keep talking about that one going. NQ. Talk about that one, just keeps on moving to the upside there. We asked about Microsoft as well. We'll see what's happening there. MSFT, Microsoft breaking 214.80 now. 215, a nice little top here for Microsoft. That could be a good breaking spot for them. Weaker than Apple today, weaker than many of the techs. We do need to check back. What is Apple? Yeah, 2-3%. Wow. Apple's still motoring onside now. Unbelievable, this name just keeps on going up, Neil. All-time highs for Apple. Should have been on this earlier, but we were not. What a big trade miss that was. Apple rocking, man.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna check back in on Tesla at this time of day. It didn't you didn't give the dip buy, and that was my first sort of look, was to see if you get a dip into 2000 and test it. It didn't happen here in Tesla. It's just looking entirely too strong. It does support 2025 to the upside. I wasn't thinking about anything short unless it literally broke and held below that 2,000. I think that's something most people were probably watching. Pinduoduo looks like it's going to stop out break even on the second half of that position. But now Tesla, I think 2100 is going to come into play. But also look at this like 2080 fading into that type of a move the other day was pretty successful for a scalp trade where you have an anticipation that 2100 is going to hold. You take 80 to 85 and you're only looking for about $10. You get in, you get out quick. Make sure you got direct market access and you can actually do a trade like that because it is a little bit different from what most people are going to be watching over there in Tesla. Just to update you on SRNE, it might give some consolidation at this bottom. 1013 was technically the low. If you go back a few sessions ago, just sort of looking at this little bottom here was technically 1013. 10 even is where I like to stop just a little bit better. But this is what I'm basing off of. If it can have any kind of support, it broke out through that price, back in early August. It held at one time on the way down. I'm looking to see if it can bottom pick here on SRNE. Sorrento, Brendan, what do you got?
We're mentioning NVIDIA there, guys. Some of the semiconductors doing quite nicely so far today. Yeah, that's an interesting shot. TSM, Taiwan Semiconductors. There we go. Also having a nice day here. 1.75%, guys. Just came back into 78 there and held quite nicely on decent volume.
Like, as if this happens again to me here on NVIDIA. I mean, look at this. Like, we get wicked out right there, making this initial trade flat when it's doing exactly what we wanted to. Watch out for 500 here. 500 is close to the all-time highs. 502.23 all-time highs here on NVIDIA, and we'll take it on a break through. So let's just wait to see what happens here on NVIDIA. Looking to break upside now through 500. NVIDIA, the name that we want to trade here. So let's see what does happen with NVIDIA moving to the upside now, making that move, and Rocket making that move back down. That would have been a good fade, but we're watching NVIDIA right now, breaking through 500. Looks like it's going to do that. We're going to try to take the long. We're crossed up here, 20 cents, so that should be good enough to get us in. There we go. So now we're long NVIDIA, $500, and of course, 20 cents, right where it crosses up to. So we'll see if this one wants to go, but right now, NVIDIA making moves. We also have Microsoft trying to make moves as well, upside through 215. So here we go. Microsoft and NVIDIA now moving, guys.
Yeah, I just want to show you guys CVAC. Remember that IPO, of course, coming through. Look, we talked about this level a couple of days ago at 69. It just tested through that after pre-market tops here and then failed back in. So 70 even did get tested and ramped back down. I'm going to take the second break and see if the 69 works the second time through. I do like this opportunity. I think you can take some out in front of 70 and then hold some through that 70 even break, and then it gets you all the way to like 72 to 75 for upside. Look at the hard bottom that it put in. It's a tremendous on volume as well, guys. NVIDIA. So volume picking up on CVAC. I'll take the 69 break the second time, run it into that 70, and maybe even add to the position through 70 even. So CVAC back on the radar, people.
Okay, NVIDIA just tanks there for us, which is not good because we're long. So we need to watch out for NVIDIA making moves now. Hopefully upside, but it just does make that move. So we're not going to drop it until we get somewhere down here, man. 497 and change. We got to try to hold this one as much as we can, but NVIDIA making that move back through 500 right now. So yeah, we held it. We try and take this move upside, but right now not working out for us. That's NVIDIA trying to get through 500. It hits it, stops, and now turns around and just bouncing off this level right here. That's NVIDIA once again coming down to the downside. What is this? 497.81. Here it comes crashing back down. That name is NVIDIA making moves to the downside right here, guys. Brendan, you got one for us.
If you remember last week, guys, I think it was Thursday or Friday, about a week ago, in fact, we were talking about India Global. IGC on the NYSE ARC exchange got all the way up here to 450. One day, we're all the way back to where it started. Once again, 120 to $1 here. Watch out for 120 down here, and then $1 on IGC, down 13%. It took a week, but it got all the way back, guys.
Yeah, because of course it is. I mean, yep. Definitely a good one here. Like I said on SRNE, we are in the money, but it holds that 10 area, fantastic. I'm not going to take anything out until it cracks like 1040. So gets into this chop range, maybe gets us back to VWAP. That's the thing. It's got to be worth the risk to reward here. We had a multi-day level there at that 10 that we like, so we go long in front of it, and we need to. You got to make sure the risk to reward is going to make sense for you. We're long at 25, and if I'm going to give it 25 cents, I got to start taking profit at around that price range on the first third of that position. So let's go SRNE. We're in the money, but not nearly enough compared to what we're trying to get. Somehow Pinduoduo did not stop me out. So we hold 86. That's good for us here. We are short 85.90. I actually could have considered a reload. It's not a horrible idea given the trend. You know what, if it gives me another shot like 85, like 70 or 80, maybe I'd add to the position, keep that same break-even stop, and then slide it down. If it breaks 85, it gives me 2 cracks. I can get out in front of it some and still hold for that 84 target. So probably should have done it the first time. Let's see if we can't do it a second time through shorting in front of that 86 with the same area stop there on Pin Duo.
Yeah, good trade there on PDD. I had that as well, as you know. And here goes Microsoft. Wow, what a catapult. We're not winning nearly as much as we're losing on NVIDIA, but bang, why is my chart not loading there? Okay, we got to refresh this. Right now my NVIDIA chart's stuck, so we'll close it. But you can see Microsoft, we're long at 215 right now. It's at 215.70, so making the moves right now on NVIDIA, on Microsoft. Wow, a nice little 80+ cent win to go. Yeah, thanks guys. I'm just gonna get my chart back up here. It should take a second, and here we go, loading, 3, 2, 1. Right now, Microsoft, here we go. Boom, there it is. Okay, 214.50, this is a 3-minute chart. We'll put it back down to a 1. We've got a nice little win on this one, 80+ cents now to the upside on Microsoft. We did dump some in the 50s, but wow, what a big move happening right now on Mr. Softy. Good little retracement back upside through 215. Thanks for bringing that out. Finally, a breakout here working today for us. That's Microsoft.
Yeah, I'm seeing Genius Brands sort of pull back in here, and a similar thing happening into Rocket. I haven't gotten any ideas to go short on either one of those names yet. It's just Sorrento to the long side, trying to get back into some Duo, but just watching and tracking Genius to see where it can hold up. 125 does seem like it could be a little bit of support. I do want to jump you back to MTP, and Brendan, of course, and I both involved looking at this short trade. I had a target of that 225. I think I told you that several times here. It is starting to round out and find support down at 240. So, you're in the money on a 264 short, about that 10%. I'm going to slide my stop down, make sure I lock it in. If it crosses back north above 250, I'm going to take it out. Otherwise, still going to look for that out in front of 225, guys. But moving my stop from break even to 250 area on MTP. Brendan, what do you have?
I just saw this PGen, PGEN on the NASDAQ. Not seeing any significant news on this name, but nice look nevertheless, 15% to the upside. Nice technical break on the daily chart through 6 on decent volume. So a trending move here for PGEN, guys.
Like, we're still holding on for this. Look at Microsoft go. Like, darn it, not darn it. I mean, it's a great trade. We throw the cash around here on Softy. Those of you know that when we get involved with Mr. Softy, it's normally a good thing. And look at this thing rocket upside, 215 long, now making moves up and away. So a big trade. But the one stock that's not working out for us right now is NVIDIA, and it just keeps on falling downside right here. We did take a 500 long. We got some out there at 499, but now we got to let this try to make a move back to the upside now. NVIDIA, it looks like it wants to fade through. Our out's going to be down here at 496 and change. So we're going to give NVIDIA a shot now and hope for the best on this one as it needs to get back to 500. Maybe the futures will help it, maybe it won't, but right now it doesn't look like there's much happening on this stock. So it would be foolish to get out now because we're kind of at those breaking points where we were last time. We saw this move up from 497 all the way up to 500, hoping that it can find a bottom here and bounce once again for us. That's NVIDIA looking to make moves to the upside. Other than that, we have a small little trade on CCL, which already came out. So we washed this one out off a nice little 80 move. Now CCL making a bottom at 14.59, now coming back down. So watch out. We'll get out of the rest of these if it breaks through 14.50. But right now, that is CCL, guys.
Yeah, I'm going to get you guys to BNTX, which is, my top stock on the day, obviously. We had that great sort of short that turned into an even better reversal to the long side, off 72.20. However, this last I checked in is where I told you guys I wanted to go short. This is where it's about to break, and I might take a 73 short instead of getting what I actually really wanted in a bit of a range-bound trade, short in front of 75. Speaking of ranges, why not drop and let you guys know what's coming on a little bit later on. We're going to be dropping another one of our educational videos. I know you guys love them. It is on range-bound trading, and I just missed a good range-bound trade, and we'll talk about how you can identify and, of course, how you can profit from trading within a range when stocks aren't moving or maybe they have predictable movement. It can be just as good as when they're breaking out and giving you all kinds of parabolic moves.
Larry is so
Certainly right
there.
here, BNTX would have given you a good one in front of 75, but I still like the 73 break. I'll take 2 shots at it short. If it bounces here, I'll be looking to short in front of 75 again, maybe a little more aggressively. I should have removed the first time. Instead of sitting passively on the offer at the price I wanted, I should have paid the spread. An extra 15 pennies probably would have been well worth it to get a $1.50 move. I think that math makes sense. And if you don't, maybe you shouldn't be trading. 73 break I'll take as well. But first look, if it bounces, I want like 74.50-ish as an entry point in BNTX. Looking short this time after that nice long we had earlier.
There it is. That's the fireworks. Is that 1,000 already? No,
What?
700 fireworks. Oh, is that you that hit the fireworks? Yeah, oh yeah, you're right. You're doing the dance at 1,000. Oh, welcome, Amir. Thank you so much for becoming a new member with us here, Amir. And we will definitely thank everybody and all of our members. We hit the home run on Microsoft as that now making new highs. We'll find out the all-time high on this one, nowhere near, but we are making new moves on Microsoft as the future's trying to go. But the big one for me is still waiting on this NVIDIA to start running. What up, B?
Another one to look at here, guys. News aftermarket yesterday on Evolent Health, EVH, was just double checking to see what exactly it was. Engage Capital looks like reporting a larger stake in the company. So a bit of a pop up here. Look at the daily chart on this thing. $6 up to 14 in the past month or so. So just breaking to recent highs here for EVH, guys.
And I do get the trigger on BioNTech, BioNTech, BNTX there. 72.85 we'll get on the 73 break. So oddly enough, we pay 15 cents on the spread, exactly what we should have paid back at 75. But we'll see if we can't run this one down to that opening range area. We had that short initially off of like 71.80. So this is a dollar better, but looking at some of the same targets, guys. The break point was 72.20. That was where it pivoted to the upside and was a long after being a short. So first out will be in front of that, and then from there you're looking at the actual opening range bottoms. That's around that 71 even. So if we get that, we'll be absolutely thrilled. There goes Pinduoduo. About to test 85 again, so a couple of good shorts on. Pinduoduo, a lot of resistance at that 85. I do think hopefully BNTX does not have the same level of resistance at 72, but I'll take some off in front of either way.
Yeah, to say the least here as we go. Okay, Pinduoduo, yeah, we got out of Pinduoduo. We got triggered out of that one on an 85.50 break, but Pinduoduo, good stock for us today. We did take that short initially and took a little bit out and then a little bit more out there and then ultimately out on the top. And then look at this, down here to 85. It resisted. Actually, it looks like it did break at some point there, down to 85.84, but that was enough. Now making moves back to the upside. So my biggest position on right now by far is this one. We're still holding it. It's the NVIDIA long, trying to get it through 500. We're hoping for the same kind of thing to happen once again on a break back to the upside here of NVIDIA, breaking back up above 500 here would be pretty good. Rocket Mortgage making moves and GEVO making moves to 150 now. Again, GEVO now looking at nice move from 132 all the way back to the upside here, getting some volume behind it. 121 million shares on the day, but we are ready to go right now. Oh, there's it. Just before we go, quickly, thank you to our not a new member here, but thank you so much for this $5 there. Peter, sharing Tesla profits. Everybody likes that. Yeah, you're right. Hit that like button, buddy. Everybody on the show, please give us some money, not some money, some love on that like, and good on you for that profit taking there with Tesla. Big time trading over the last couple of days, Brendan.
Hey guys, yeah, sector time. Let's have a look at the S&P and see what is moving the market so far today. 0.14% for the overall S&P 500 in positive territory. Most of the strength you can see coming from the consumer discretionary and industrial groups so far today. We talked about that one. Deere, what a move. 4% still for DE. Nice look for them off of earnings. FedEx as well, I noticed 1.5% here, having a nice day so far. Southwest is higher, but some of the other airlines here, AAL, UAL in particular, to the downside. So Southwest standing out as strong so far today in the airlines group. Tech stocks back to the downside today outside of NVIDIA. Big 2.5% move to the upside. But the rest of the semiconductor group, in fact, in negative territory, including that one there, Micron, down 0.8%. SNPS was earnings. Keys also earnings. Apple 2.5% to the upside. This group strong today as well. We were talking about consumer discretionaries. Win 4.3%. They talked about raising some debt yesterday. So a nice look for Win. I lost them. Here we go. MGM, LVS, and Hilton all in positive territory. Some of the retail group also looking quite strong so far. Target, Ulta Beauty there, and TJX 1.9% to the upside. So this group, consumer discretionaries and the industrial strong, but tech stocks are weak. And then way over here, material stocks also helping to the downside today, and the real estate group. So utilities as well to the downside there. But those three plus the industrials kind of leaving the market overall flat. So we're seeing a lot of individual names offsetting some individual names once again. 0.13%, guys, for the S&P 500. Back over to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, Brendan. 496 and change here on NVIDIA. We're going to have to get out some of these, unfortunately, if it does keep going down. 497 break hasn't happened yet, but if it does, we got to get out of some of these as it's just too much. And then we'll hold the rest down here through 496. So yeah, it looks like it's turning down, turning away from us here off this $500 break. So not going to be a good trade there, but the S&P just needs to rally a bit, and maybe we can make that move that it made last time. But yeah, it doesn't look good here on NVIDIA. So we'll wait to see if that one can crack down below 497. Not that we want that to happen, but that is going to be our out if that does come through. So that's 497, and then we'll give the rest to this 496 level before getting out ultimately of everything there if it doesn't go. But still holding out hope for 500. But right now the future's going and this one not. So we're going to dump that very soon. Microsoft, we did get out. This was the big win for sure. 215 break all the way up here to 216.20. Good trading on Microsoft, but we did dump the rest. As I was just saying, we noticed the futures just keep on falling here, so we can't take too much more pain on this. So we're going to get ready to dump it and look for the next trade for you. Facebook red today also, so that one looks like it's turning over as well. Facebook.
Sean, we used to have a reloaded key. I don't think I actually have it anymore, but okay, I reloaded on BNTX. We did, like I mentioned, 72.20 was the breakthrough price. I was short in front of it. I reversed to the long. That was the great one we got a couple of bucks on. I did take some shares out in front, so you quickly get that like 70 cent or 60 to 70 cent type scalp trade, and then you would load back into it in front of VWAP one more time. Ultimately, I will keep rinsing and repeating, getting shares out in front of 72.25, holding hopefully for a test of 71 even. It's been my top stock of the day, and as much as I'm happy about that, we show you our winners, we show you our losers. Not a big loser, but it's rather embarrassing anyways. Let's look at a GVO. I mentioned on the way down I was going to take a shot in front of 135. You might have heard Brendan mention something about a share offering at $1.30. So maybe, just maybe, there would be support at $1.30. You would have seen it at the pre-market hold twice. And then you want to see it hold right here. Yeah, well, maybe I should have held it to 130. The only good news here is I didn't make bottom wick. So there you go. I didn't make that low since the open. But I did miss out on what was 15% return. It is holding the top here, so I'm going to go back into this in front of $2 and $2.20. I think those are great levels, but it's holding this 160 opening high. Maybe that's going to be a breakout potential type trade there. If it takes it, maybe I'll go short at like 58 and reverse to the long at 61. Brennan, what do you got?
FLDM just popping up on volume list here, guys. FLDM 12%. Nice little break here of 875, which was this kind of pivot from early on this morning. Watch $9 here, and then this wick on the daily chart way up there is going to be 930. So nice look so far for FLDM on higher relative volume, guys.
All right, we did get out of some NVIDIA, so we fall in the hole, but we are looking to maybe get back in on a 498 break. So we'll see if we can get that going back upside 498. We'll take a few more shares there and then give it back to that bottom one more time to see if it breaks through 496 there on the bottom. But we did have to get out. We did talk about why that does come through. So yeah, we get out there at 497 break. So that was a bad trade there for NVIDIA, but we will get back in here. We still are holding a little bit of the trade. So we'll see back down here. 498 in a quarter. We'll take a long if it goes one more time. And then if not, then we will be getting back out of that at 497 and change if it doesn't go. But we got out of that just in case it breaks down. Facebook, braces itself for Trump to cast doubts. So whatever that means, that was just through there. So Facebook getting ready to probably absorb some of the blow on a possible, election fraud. But we'll see. There, I think Facebook's done a pretty good job.
Yeah,
Yep.
Facebook, they have done a good job. I don't usually advise standing in front of a train, but when you do, make sure you have a key level to work off of. That was the case in Sorrento. I literally picked it up on the way down, not even on the way up. It does hold that 10. What I really should have done is when it bounced off of 10 even here, I got to be able to get some shares on the way back up, and you can see how violent that move was in my favor. I did take the first leg out at 42. As I said, once it cracked in the 40s, I would begin to take profits all the way in through VWAP. Ultimately, I think I can get back to that 1065 range. As long as 10 holds, I'll be long in Sorrento. I just wish I had been shorting through 11 as well. Brendan, what do you got?
I was actually just reading that story as well on Facebook there as it came out. Basically, what they're saying is they're preparing, is the word I'm looking for, preparing multiple different strategies to implement if Trump goes on Facebook and declares that the election was a fraud, or if he won the election when in fact he didn't. So they're coming up with multiple different strategies and approaches to what they're going to do to deal with those events, guys.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So that makes a little more sense than what I was reading there. But yeah, getting ready to potentially protect themselves from anything there that comes. So good on Facebook for that. Nice to see them being proactive there. Okay. So now we go long again. We're going to give this one more shot to the bottom side here of 497, probably down here, 497 quarters or so on NVIDIA. But we are back long right now on this name, looking for this to get pushed back up to 500 now on a little bit of a false breakout there. Twice we got hit on that move, so now we'll give it one more chance here to go. But that's NVIDIA giving it one more shot, Neil.
Yeah, just gonna get back to this Pixie. I mean, look, I talked about wanted to find a short. I wasn't able to catch it on that consolidation. You see the flush that comes in, and this is the thing: if you're going to be shorting on the way back of a parabolic move, you've got to accept the fact that you might miss it. Instead of picking the top and standing in front of the train, which is very, very dangerous shorting a move like that, I think it is better to try to catch it on the way down. Downside, of course, is you are going to miss out on from time to time. That's what happened here in Pixie. There was a couple of bottoms worth looking at. 425 sticks out like a sore thumb. I got wicked out here at about 475, but I like this sort of 450 to 460 as well. If it bases out, maybe there's a secondary push in Pixie. A lot of times those moves don't materialize until the afternoon, but I might take a shot here. Not back through 5, more on consolidation in front of 450, and then at 425 would be the ultimate stop out if you are taking that trade to the long side, guys. I'm giving BioNTech the reload up to about 73.50, so we'll hang on to that one. I do want to jump back to MTP. It does continue its slide down. I did move my stop. We're in the money now, just shy of 25 cents. 264 short, looking to get out in front of 225 somewhere. Nice winner on MTP, even though we're late to the party. It's a fantastic trade, short side, just shorting a pop there at a 265. Brendan, what do you got?
Guys, from earlier in the week, we had earnings on Kirkland earlier in the week that were good. KIRK another day to the upside here. Just got rejected at 13. Decent volume behind this move again today for KIRK. Nice looking daily chart on this one as well, guys.
Yeah, that's gold. Is that gold, I believe? Because Kirkland Mining, I know, here
That's
in Canada is definitely gold. But okay, NVIDIA right now, we did take another long here, 498.30 and change. So now we're trying to get back going back to the upside now on this name. We've already taken the bath, but maybe we get another break through 500 here to go. So that could be good for sure if it does want to go, but we'll have to wait on that one. I do see Nikola as well here, up to 40. I think this could be a decent break, breaking through VWAP right here, coming up to 40. You got $40.16 on the mind right here for a 1 minute chart. You break this down to a 3 minute, it even looks even better for the long here, breaking through VWAP on both, and there's that 39.95 level, so you can take that and watch out for that. But the bottom 39 even basically on Nikola, so that's making a move now back to the upside. As again, let's check out Tesla just real quick here. 250, 260 there, 2,000 of course, and $50 bouncing around, not doing much. watch. Look, the move was early on this name, all the way back up, then all the way back down, and then it's just kind of been back and forth here, kind of like it was in the afternoon, trying to test that $2,000 yesterday. Like you could see, just up and down, and not much happening once we were near that 2,000. I'm wondering if the same thing's kind of happening here at a 2050 pivot. And look, if we get going again, obviously the market needs to take off, but maybe not actually. 2,090 up here, the high of the day, 2,080. So watch out for 2,100 maybe, Neil? I don't know, but the big name right now for me is going to be NVIDIA on watch, trying to get this thing back to 500, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost going to be a must that on watch again for me is going to be Gevo. I did talk about that 160 top. I will take a shot. If it takes out the opening range, it did give a test, so a lot of people look at that short like I just sort of did and missed out and are thinking, yeah, I'll take another crack at it if it holds the lower high. I'm going to get rid of that order. Let's forget about that. If it takes out this lower high and makes a run at 160, it's going to break a lot of stops at that point, so I want to be long in the event of that. I will probably take at least one shot with a tight stop short in front of it, but it's all about the reverse long. It's also all about money when you talk about trading. Money talks around here, but also Brendan is going to talk a little bit about crypto and currencies at the big screen.
Hey guys, yeah, Money Talks. Let's have a look at currency land so far today. We're seeing a little bit of a bounce back in the US dollar, so a lot of these things going to be negative today. There's also a big move in the pound again. Very volatile week on the British pound. We did break above this consolidation, so we were in this nice tight consolidation. This is an hourly chart, so we're going back to the beginning of June as far as this move to the upside. So consolidation, break above to 132.50, but very volatile week. Some of the Brexit negotiations with other countries still underway as far as trade is concerned, really kind of stalling out at the end of the week. So back to the downside, almost a full percent here, 0.9%, 130.9 for the pound. The euro also down significantly, 0.7%, 117.8. The Canadian dollar pulling back ever so slightly, about a tenth of a percent. We had the Australian dollar and New Zealand to the downside today as well. The Aussie leading the way, 0.5% into negative territory. Cryptos have been pretty muted so far this week, but Bitcoin negative ever so slightly, 0.8, and Ethereum as well, 2%. Back to that 400 level for Ethereum. Let's go back to Neil.
Yeah, so no breakout in Tesla just yet, but you can certainly say that Apple is, and approaching that $500 range. I will probably be taking a shot in front of it. I mean, you are standing in front of a bit of a train when you do that, but it's about seeing what is there on the level 2 when you jump up to that price. Is to give you that quick turnaround trade where you can short somewhere in the 99 range and then just get a quick little retracement, maybe to like 95 or 96. Risk to reward has to be good. You have to have a good reliable stop so that if 500 does break, you're crossed up aggressively. You know you're going to get out. There should be, I mean, there's fantastic liquidity. Apple does 25 million shares before lunchtime here on a $500 stock. So I'll probably be looking at this one similar to a Tesla 2000. You don't have to be married to the idea. You don't have to take it, but certainly going to have a look. If we get up to 500 on Apple, you can see me possibly jump into a short trade for a scalp idea, just a quick retracement. A lot of people might hit the sell button if it doesn't immediately break through. One stock from yesterday was great. That we missed out on today is going to be Blink charging. But it is coming back to what looks like a key level here at about 715. That was a great short off the open for a few days in a row now, down 10%. So it's going to be short sell restricted. But I'm looking at this retracement. It couldn't bust back through 715, 716. It's now trying another time. This could give you a potential scalp breakout to like 30s or 40s, but if it holds, I'm going to be looking to short, continue this trend to the downside on Blink. You can only short on an uptick if you want to have this trade, but it could be a nice little break. So if it breaks up, I'm going to be long. You'll see that trigger in at like 20 or 21. Otherwise, the long grid holds. I might take something to the south side on a 7 even break with the same stop that we'd use to go long as an out for the possible short.
U.S. firms can use WeChat in China. Okay. All right. Going upside. Okay. Let's look at another Chinese name right now. Let's look at NIO to go. A lot of traders like to look at this name on the board, and normally it's because it does a lot of volume. And today, 36 million does look like a decent amount of volume for NIO. So let's just have a quick look at some of the levels here. On this is again a 3-minute chart. VWAP all the way back here. You're looking at some consolidation. Let's check back in on our Microsoft trade before before we do anything else. A nice little long through 215. So I'm trying to go again. So I think that this is possible. I mean, I'm already pretty long here on NVIDIA. So that was a big mistake getting out there. We should have held the rest and we would be okay. But we are long again. So let's see how high NVIDIA wants to go back through 500. I think this is the long that I want to sit with for right now instead of getting into Microsoft. But maybe we should be back into something else. AMD we're flat on AMD today, believe it or not, but it did make a move all the way back down. We got some out there and some out here, but NVIDIA, this is a good one, looking to break its VWAP through 83, but AMD. I can't be long AMD and NVIDIA at the same time. That to me doesn't make much sense, because if the semis tend to fall, then I'm going to be in big time trouble myself there. Look at GIVO though, Neil.
Nasdaq's absolutely running. I am looking at GIVO, but the Nasdaq approaching, actually breaking 1115.50 there. So big time move to the upside. You see a lot of these names pushing up. That GIVO it's still in that consolidation range. I actually like it a little bit better if I could have got like 55 short, because it has to be a tight stop at that high end trade. Sorrento still not moving off of that 25 area where I'm long. I got 1/3 out, still holding the rest, see if it can hold the bottom. But the story right now is the NQ busting to the upside, and Apple 91 last I checked. I'm going to take a shot in front of 500 if it looks good. Brennan, what do you have for us?
Just going to flip back over to Janon, Jan, a little one that's been going crazy this week. Past couple of days, went from 5 up to 750 this morning. This thing's been halted once already. I can't really find too much in the way of a significant catalyst behind this, but nice move again today for JAN, up 11%. Guys.
I wasn't going to be going short on CVAC. I was looking for a possible long break. I did mention this one to you guys after the strong move up, but it's bouncing a couple of times off VWAP, and it looks to me like if 66, like 3/4, 66.50 does break, maybe even 67, somewhere in that range is probably going to be a nice little flip to the short for me. So it's now on the radar. I still like the second push through 69 at some point. If it does take that out, I will take it long. I still have that order locked and loaded, ready to go. But I can reverse into the short. I think we might have to pay for those and price it out. If the locates are worth it, like under 10 cents or so per share, I'll go for that at 66.50 on CVAC. Of course, that's a recent IPO. I already told you a little bit about GIVO. But I also want to get over to Genius Brands. And we were talking about this on the move up. Didn't really see any news here. It's about to test the high again. If I don't have a catalyst or a reason why this bad boy is going up, yeah, I'm gonna try to fade it in front of this 138, 140. 140 is the actual high, like 139. So we'll try to fade this one on basically what I see is no news. If there was news, maybe I would stay away from it. If I find out that there is a real solid catalyst to Genius Brands, I'll probably just drop the trade altogether. But I'll short this one in the mid 30s, out in front of a 140, and see if it can't get back to this 128 VWAP. So Genius Brands, you're gonna see me pop into short any second now. BioNTech does stop me out there at the high. Not high, that's 73.50. So we've had a couple of good wins there. We'll take a hit on our third trade in BNTX.
Okay, here's a big win finally for us back on NVIDIA, but we've already taken the bath, so we need this to go through 500 here, and if it does, then we'll be good. I mean, this just got triggered at 497. Not even really sure why that happened when we were trying to go down here to 496, but that's okay. We give that a little bit of space, and now we're getting out of some of our 498 and change up here, 500. So good little level to get some out now on NVIDIA, which we've been doing. Look at the futures coming crashing down just a little bit now, so you got to watch out. Don't be too greedy on this trade, but NVIDIA right now nicely in the money, about $1.50 here, long at 498.40. Now it's down to about $1, so that's a good trade. Nevertheless, but 499.25 right now is a good little spot. We'll see about taking some more out if we can there, but we do want to hold this for a possible 500 break. But as Neil said, NASDAQ been moving here, so that's the bump up now for NVIDIA, so we don't want to look this gift horse in the mouth right here. But let's throw it over to Valeria, who you've been waiting for with the European update.
Hey guys, welcome to the European update. Europe mostly in a negative territory today, though Russia is up 0.1%. Sweden is up 0.22%, and Warsaw is up 0.22%, and Sweden is up 0.07%. Germany is down 0.54%, and France is down Never mind. Dutch payment company ADN fell 7% after some of its top executives sold their 15% stakes. That's all with Europe, and I'll keep you updated. Back to traders.
Looks like they sold at the right time. Either way, I do want to jump over to Blink, back at least over to Blink. I do have a locked and loaded a bracket idea on BLNK. It looks like it touched off 7, getting to like 702 down here and then held it. So no execution into the short side of the trade. It is worth knowing, I don't know that I did mention this. I should have. It is short sell restricted. That means, unless I catch an uptick, we're unable to hit that bid aggressively. And by an uptick, I mean it needs a green print off the time and sales to be the last fill in order for you to hit the bid and then short aggressively. Otherwise, you just sort of sit on the offer on the event of a break. So 7 even, approaching closely on Blink, but that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah,
I saw fireworks. Was that a trade, or did we get to?
No trade for me yet. But we did just get out of a little bit there. So good kind of management, at least, on this trade. We did get out ahead of that 500. So now we're only going to give this back down here, 497, like we keep talking about it. We could get out of this trade very soon. That would be our NVIDIA trade. We're long right here, but it gave it another shot up to 500. And I have a 3-minute chart going. It's 11 o'clock. So we're looking at some key levels here on a longer time frame. So right now, NVIDIA looks like the one about to break back downside. We'll get out at 497.70 or so if it does break down. So no real luck on NVIDIA right now, because look at the futures coming back in, and maybe there's something to look at here on Facebook, as we did get some of that negative news to go there on Facebook, but I don't think it's necessarily negative, just that they may be on watch here for a possible breach or hack or whatever Trump was saying there. So we'll wait for that one. And Microsoft as well. Good trade on Microsoft. Microsoft's my #1 trade today. Upside, obviously, on this 215 break. But now we're all coming back in. The NASDAQ coming back in right now. So our NVIDIA trade will probably be out very soon. But right here, big candle down on a 3-minute chart. So watch out for this one. Alibaba cruising to the north side here, but now coming back in. We should have waited for this break again on Alibaba. We had it early, and look at this move. But again, a little too early for Alibaba. So next time we'll wait a little bit more for that to happen. And what was it? About 10 o'clock, Alibaba started to go north side here from 260, wow, all the way to 267 and change. So Alibaba making dreams happen there to the upside for a lot of traders. But we are watching NVIDIA very closely here, looking to break out. We're going to get some out here, hopefully at the top side, so we can ease some of the pain if it does break back down below that 498 mark, guys.
Oh, Baba, you make me sick off that 260. On our watch list, and the level we gave was 260. It was a breakout. It even pulled back and gave you a re-entry. I was busy, fortunately, making money in other stocks, but I think maybe the best opportunity was sticking to my guns on that trade. I do see you there. I think it was Mike B, one of our members, asking, what are you thinking about fading Apple? Yeah, when it gets close to 500. I mean, for me, if you see me take these parabolic move rollover type trades, they're usually in like small cap stocks or something that doesn't have a catalyst. It's typically not in something like an Apple. I tend to stay away from that. But 500 would be very, very tempting if it gets there and makes a similar type of turn. Yeah, I'll probably take a shot at that. But otherwise, let it run. I know the market's starting to come back in just a little bit here. I want to get you guys to something which I just added to. That was my Genius Brands short. Couple of steps in here in front of the high of day. Look, I'll reverse. I don't mind taking the top end break at 140, but we do have 134.5 to the short side trade. Yeah, it's more of a scalp type idea here. We talked about that a lot yesterday. We dropped that video for you guys on our Market Wisdom channel, and I would start taking this one out in front of VWAP. Hopefully, a push down to 125 would be in the cards, and I'd love to see that happen. But we got the short on Ingenious Brands. Sorrento Therapeutics. I just reloaded in SRNE. First time through on the bounce at that 110, 113 area. I didn't catch it on the way back up. Second time, it bounces at a higher low. I pick some shares up, not around the same price we had before, but loading back into position what we took out at 1042. We'll get out in front of VWAP, another third as well, and looking to see if we can't hold a bit of a bottom pick action off of a higher time frame to identify that 10 to 1013 area on Sorrento Therapeutics. Only other position is MTP, which has been sitting in the money all morning long and no reason to get out. Of course, my price isn't nearly as good as Brendan's. Speaking of which, he's got something for us.
A little headline on Microsoft, guys. Looks like they're teaming up with the Universal Film to Entertainment Group to provide some cloud support, it looks like, to live action and animation productions for Universal Filmed Entertainment. Not a huge move, a little bit of a pullback, I guess, to the downside for Microsoft, but interesting getting into the live action and animation side of things, guys.
That's pretty cool.
I wonder if that's what got them going there. Okay, NVIDIA, of course, drops below that 498 level. We get out some there, 496. So we're still holding a little bit left of that one. We have a new position alert, though. It was Alibaba long there at 55. I don't know. It just went to 266. I have orders out. I don't know why we missed that, but 265, 95. We'll give it some legs here back through 256. We did have this earlier. It's been a big move up and a couple upgrades today. So Alibaba making moves now north side. We're going to see what happens here, giving it only back to this kind of consolidation level of 264.50. So if 264.50 breaks, we'll get out of that one. So giving this one $1 worth of room here is Baba. So Alibaba trying to go Pinduoduo. That was another name, just back to the Chinese plays here. It goes once again all the way to 85 before turning. So that may be a good spot if it gets going. You may want to look for that on a possible reload there back to 85 if you get it, because the top 86.70. So there is some room there on Alibaba or on Pinduoduo for sure to the upside here.
Oh man, if there's one thing I love about this community, it's that a name that we've traded before in the past, Virgin Galactic here. I see you. Thank you, member APSA. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce that. I apologize for that. But thank you for letting us know. A big break here on Virgin Galactic at 17. It is heading to the downside. Congratulations if you got this trade. But this is what it's all about. I mean, you're just paying it forward to me by putting this back on my radar today. So also you guys pay it forward to all of your friends. You definitely hit that share. Send it to other people. That's what we get out of this for us. We enjoy sharing our ideas and talking shop all day long because it's a lot of fun as a trader. Hitting wins is too as well. But nice look here on space. I hope that's the 17 break that you had. I always sort of jump to the higher time frame here. It's a great trend to the downside, so probably should have been on our radar as a short side breakdown play all along. There isn't a heck of a lot of support till you get to that 15. When you do look at the higher time frame, lots of reasons to also like pullback trades. Maybe anything in that 85 to 70 range might get you a secondary push. I would prefer this chop zone here in front of 17 to 17.20 if it does pull back in. It's more of a swing trend to the downside, so playing pullbacks in the afternoon, not a bad way to go as well on Virgin Galactic. Nice little break. Thanks for pointing out for us, guys. Yeah, great. And that's what we talk about there all the time, Neil, about these great viewers and members of our chat and whatnot that we have. Thank you so much for all the love and the support. Continue to go. Thanks for the names as well. And I'm going to give you another one here, Apple. We're in it right now on this little bump pull back in. We can go to a 1-minute chart here for this play. We are long. It does pull back a little bit. We take it on a little bit of a break through 491.75, but now we're coming back down in. Watch out for this level down here for this kind of this consolidation bump. 490. What is this to the downside here? 490. So we need to have a 490 break to make sure that this is what it is. But 490 and change downside on Apple. Just got to make sure we have our stop in on that one. Alibaba does go to the upside. We do get that 95 out, so that's a nice little win as we'll hit the swish on that. But here we go now, guys. Apple, Baba, and NVIDIA. We're long everything, so let's see if this market wants to finally make a move to the upside for me once we are long. We are coming back into 33.82, so we got to give that some love as well. But here we go, guys. Apple, Baba, and NVIDIA all long. Biggest position now, Apple. Yeah, and I didn't get the locates on Blink. That's all on me. I should have had these ones at 7. It does break 7 even, so no long side trade just yet. If I can get the locates very quickly here, I know we had them yesterday, so should be able to get these. I should have been prepared for that. So 7 even does go. The low of the day is this 675 area, so possible chance it hangs around to give me an entry point somewhere, maybe even in front of VWAP, and I can get a better price. For now, let's go to Brendan, who has a little something for us.
Cardiff Oncology, a little oncology name with earnings this morning, guys, before market that were better than expected. Nice look here on the daily chart. CRDF took out this high, which was 686. So now we are at all-time highs, obviously, up here at 750. So all-time highs for CRDF. I also just saw NNOX. Going to do this live because I'm not sure we even have this. NNOX. We do. So there is an IPO, guys, on the NASDAQ today. NNOX off at $18, it looks like, guys.
That, of course, is on the NASDAQ. I actually did get that Blink short in there, so the availability to go short, of course. They don't actually have the position yet. It is trying to pull back, and I think we'll be able to get something in this range of that sort of like $7 area. So we'll go for it, see if we can't get a fill there. Of course, we still have that Genius Brands, guys. But Blink, we want to add to our position. Apple, you know, it's sort of not making that secondary push. I'm not sure that 500 is going to happen, but if it does, we'll definitely be locked and loaded. I do get into Blink at 96, so it's not a heck of a lot worse than if we'd gotten in a timely manner. So we're into that one. Alibaba is starting to pull back just a little bit here. I think it would be hella interesting if 264.50 were to break to the downside. I think I'll be short if it does. I'd much rather play this top end pullback than I would on Apple, unless it's at 500. So, you know, just file that one away. 264.50 south side on Alibaba. Blink, we just got a new position alert there. And Genius Brands, we've been short the entire time. Re-entry on Sorrento. We'll see what happens as it tests 10 once again.
I got to find out why, like, I go long on Alibaba, and it instantly, not instantly, but it's a great trade going straight upside right now, and then instead of our Apple trade moving the other way. So we'll wait to see on this one. But Alibaba, a nice little win. Do we have any orders out? Yes, we do at 35. So we'll wait to see on this one. Alibaba, nice little win to go 65 cents. So nice little chicken dinner winner here for Alibaba as we get some more out there at 10. And now we wait for more moves upside on Alibaba. We should have just took a hell of a lot more shares, but it's okay. Nice win for sure, helping us ease some of the pain right now. Apple, unfortunately, we thought it was breaking back above 492, so we got in a little early here at 491 and change. 491 and change. I mean 491.80. So right now we're down a buck on that trade. The ultimate bottom is this 490.50. Let's average in one more. Well, not our first time. We'll average into the downside here, 490.50 as it's coming screaming down here. Watch out, the futures look like they're giving something up right now. It's only down 3 handles, but Apple screaming to the downside. Baba, a good trade, but we are ready now for our guest trade of the day. So let's throw it back to Brendan.
Hey guys, yeah, it is that time, Friday at 11:10. That means guest trader of the daytime, sponsored by Lewis Daniels Watches. Thank you so much to Lewis Daniels Watches, giving us all a watch, as well as all the guests coming in throughout July, August, even into September, a watch for coming on as guest trader of the day. Max Wilshaw joining us today for guest trader of the day. First time for Max. Good to see you, Max. What are you looking at today?
Yeah, first of all, happy to be on the show. It's been a bit of a rough month for penny stock swings, which I mainly trade in. However, today I've been looking at, got my notes, I've been looking at Shell, which has moved a lot pre-market and continued to move today. DraftKings for a bit of a longer term move, and GEVO, G-E-V-O, that had some crazy volume pre-market, so yeah.
It's been an exciting one so far today. We've had, I mean, it's August, the end of August almost. So the overall, the market pretty muted. But if you do your research, and I love that you have your notes there and you have those individual names, you can find some opportunities. Let's get back into it. Here's Neil and Sean.
How's it going? I mean, first thing you say right there, music to my ears, GEVO doing a tremendous amount of volume. You also mentioned DraftKings today, which I know we haven't really looked at that one. Can you tell me just out of sheer curiosity, because I actually don't have it on my quote board for some idiotic reason today, you know, what were you actually looking for on DraftKings explicitly? If you made a trade, what was it? What was your sort of catalyst or area of, I guess, not concern, but area of interest?
Area of interest was mainly fundamental, really. The charts look nice, but I'm waiting for a bit more of a downwards move to get into it, possibly. It's just, yeah, just fundamental, really.
Yeah, I mean, that's a thing too, and we let's look at our sponsor there. But sometimes, yeah, if you're swing trading, I'm going to assume that that's more like a longer-term swing type of trade. You are just sort of waiting for interesting price areas, and obviously you can see with a 10-minute here what the trend has been on the week, and it's a bit of a pullback. So you know, maybe if you're thinking like a 35, you think is a good entry point. I think 33 might be a little bit better, but certainly that's the kind of thing you can do when you're swing trading, and some of those same principles can apply. But from one extreme to another, you then said, our good friend GEVO, which I'm going to assume is not necessarily something you would be swing trading, just looking for active trades. Now, I had quite possibly one of the worst trades you'll ever see here. Not even giving it to the actual issue price at 130. Of course, the share offer, I keep saying issue price, the offering price of 130. I took the long off what I thought would be support in that price area. Did not give it all the way to that bottom, only to see it give me exactly the return I was looking for. Sloppy by myself, of course. But what were you watching on GVO? Was it just about the volume? Was there something specific in terms of entries and exits? This is more of a scalp type play, an intraday day trade type of stock.
Yeah, like you say, it was definitely a scalp, not a swing. I don't have a death wish, but I like the move upwards, trying to break two, but early on yesterday. But then that offering came out of nowhere, and everyone started kind of screaming about that. But then, yeah, the volume just continued. And I think if they didn't do that offering, the momentum could have pushed them maybe upwards of 3. But yeah, at the moment, I haven't got back in yet. It scares me too much, to be honest.
Well, I think one of the things you can do with something like this, with this kind of volatility, is think specific trades, right? So I had one idea, which I bungled in terms of the exit, which would have been good off that 130. But just looking at the higher, sort of looking at yesterday's price action, all these little dips, I'm starting to identify, of course, this 160, which we've mentioned for a potential breakout trade. I think I can also go short in front of it with sort of a good stop at that price. That already would have worked if you did it. So I think if it takes that 160, we talked about 2 and 220, there could be some upside momentum. That long-term contract they have, I don't think there's really any way, they haven't announced how long the terms would be. I don't think it starts till 2023. So there is some question as to how big the upside is, and maybe that could shake out some shorts who also don't have as good information. So I like that 160 area, but being disciplined, definitely the way to go there, Max. I just want to give you guys an update on Blink. I have added to that position to the short side. I just sort of keep taking some more shares in and around this sort of a $7 range. And again, if I can zoom in so you can see a little bit better, I have a bracket order all ready to go. I was going to reverse long momentum play above that 720 area in VWAP, but just working into the short in this trend in Blink. It is short sell restricted, so I need to passively get in off of the offer. I'm missing out on the breakdown.
Okay, yeah, good on you. And hey, Max, what's up, buddy? I hope all is well, and nice to see you coming through on the show with us here. Okay, let's go, Apple. Come on, Apple. We're going to see if Apple wants to get going back to the upside now again, as we just averaged in long there at 489. Now giving this some room to move, and we'll just see if we get out of little by little here, a couple hundred shares. So Max, you're a member. You signed up with our watch list, I assume. Is that true or false?
Yeah, that's true. I'm a member. I think I joined, I think it was whenever you just started. I think it was a week after you started. And it was a no-brainer for me. I mean, the show's fantastic. I love how honest you are with trades, how you show exactly where you get in, where you get out. There's not enough of that in the trading community, and I think that's brilliant. But yeah, no-brainer to become a member. But for $5 as well, it's a bargain.
Good, yeah, good. That's why I want to bring up the fact that thank you for calling us out on that as well. And yeah, we do love the fact that we're able to share everybody with our ins and our outs, and we talk about our winning trades, our losing trades, everything like that. I did want to highlight, of course, Max, the watch list. We had a couple of those names today, like you mentioned there, GVO and whatnot on the watch list. Apple's really picking up a little bit in volume here as it tries to get back up. So we're going to wait to see what happens there. Max, where are you located? Did we already ask you that?
No, you didn't. It's rainy England. It's actually stopped raining. That's a surprise.
That's right.
Yeah, so, I started off trading with the UK stocks, but they have like a stamp reserve duty. You have to pay for every share you buy. And it's not exactly feasible for someone like me who has quite a small account. But yeah, England. That's
that's what I was going to ask you. So if there was anything similar to like a PDT rule or anything there, and yeah, the stamp tax can be quite expensive over there. So you started with UK stocks. What got you interested in some of these in these US names? Was it just the volume, the volatility, shows like ours, maybe a little bit easier to research US-based stocks? What was maybe the reason why you switched back over to something over here in North America? Because your time zone right now, I guess, is pretty good for you because you can trade the open and then maybe you can leave the close alone. Is that something that you do as well?
Yeah, the time zones make it really easy actually because I can have my lunch and then go straight to trading, and then I can even stay for after hours and everything like that. So it's pretty good. Yeah, what got me interested into US stocks was mainly the hype, because obviously the stock market trades on emotion,
Right.
and when there are so many players in it, especially in North American markets, things can shoot up like you saw with Kodak. Like, that was ridiculous. I still can't believe that happened. But yeah, it's just mainly the hype. UK stocks just don't have that much hype behind them. They don't move as much, whereas that can make it safer. You don't get those returns that you can get with North American stocks.
Right. Okay. I figured that as well. So that's good. And yeah, right now I'm hella long everything right now. So we've got Apple long right now. We'll cancel that. Apple long, good little trade here, $1.20 in the money. Baba long, $1.20 in the money there as well. And then Nvidia finally going. We'll see if it wants to test 500. Were you involved in Tesla at all yesterday, Max?
Oh, no, I hoped you wouldn't bring that up. I remember when it was around the $1,000 mark and thinking, oh, surely it's way overvalued at this price. It's not going to go any higher. And obviously you see where it is now.
All right.
One that I was interested in that's been flying up, Rocket. I got in at 18, held that for a swing to earnings, and that just keeps flying. So I've got a bit of at least a good one that isn't a Tesla.
Yeah, sort of. Actually, I want to jump into Rocket just for a quick second here because we were talking about that. I missed it like several times upside. I think this week we've had a couple of good longs on Rocket, and then one bad long where I got stopped out like an idiot off the open. But I'm watching it start to come back in here, and if it doesn't hold this sort of 25th 560, which is turning into a bit of a pivot, there might be like a scalp short idea. I'm not saying it, get out of your longs, don't like the stock anymore, but certainly reversing just a bit here. Blink, that's working for us to the short, or working for me to the short side at least. I also want to get back to one more name for you guys here, Genius Brands. Now, we talked about this as it's more of a scalp type trade, as a day trade. I shorted off the high of the day here, and again, it's just like 34s and 35, takes them out in front of VWAP. It's still like 17 million shares. There wasn't a reason for why this was up. That we could find. So once I see it fail at this 140, 139, I'll take the secondary shot on the way down, not on the way up. And you talked about stocks moving a bit more there, Max. You also have to make sure when they're more volatile that you have some rules. And if you're shorting on a stock which is strong, up 8%, making parabolic type moves, you got to have an out. You have to have a plan. For me, I'll take half out in front of VWAP. If it breaks, I think we have a good shot to see 120s and a 10% return on the rest of these shares. So Genius Brands, if I see news come across the wire that's positive, maybe I'll get out. No reason here. We have a nice winner on Blink in the money as well to the south side. If you say you're from England, you can't stop there. Did you mention, I didn't hear, what city are you from, if you don't mind saying?
I'm from a town, actually, called Rugby. You might have heard of the sport. That's where it was invented. So a little nice little fact, but it's a tiny town in the middle of England, basically.
Excellent, excellent. So, I mean, I've heard of rugby, and I remember when my high school coach asked me to play, and I was like, heck no. I see the size of those guys, and I don't want to get my butt kicked. What's your team? You got to let me know what football team do you follow. Anything but Liverpool is the wrong answer.
Yeah, unfortunately, my team's right down there. You might have never heard of them before. They're called Coventry City. But I am partial to a bit of Tottenham Hotspur.
Well, nobody's perfect here, Max. So I'm glad to hear that you found us in our community. All jokes aside here, I don't even have a dog in that fight. It's not like I'm from Liverpool or anything like that. It's just a team that I love. I do want to ask you, sort of in terms of style of trade. You've mentioned a little bit about some of these scalp trades. Not Genius Brands, but maybe looking at Gevo today. You talk about looking at things like Tesla and DraftKings. Do you have a go-to style, or do you want to trade basically anything that's going to be moving for you, and then also along multiple time frames? And if so, how long did it take you to work up to doing multiple time frames?
Fuck off, Nvidia, honestly.
Yeah, with that, I started off with scalping from watching your show, actually, and I was awful at it, I have to be honest. So I got into swing trading. And that's where I made most of my money with a little company called VTIQ. Obviously, that became Nicola, and that was mental. Neo as well. So it was swing trades were definitely paying off for me. But then I started to get into biotechs and like pharma companies, and oh my god, some of them have burnt me so much. So after being done hard by those, I decided I was going to go back into scalping. Started improving my game a bit, looking at charting, indicators, and sticking with a plan. I think it's so important to stick with your plan, really. That was the main thing that I was taught the hard way.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes like you got to learn these lessons the hard way. That's the truth. That's the truth of the matter. Sometimes you want to have a community like ours here, and I think it's a good thing about the chat. We talk about the mistakes we make, some of the winners, some of the losers, and hopefully you can learn from others' mistakes. Other times you are just going to have to make your own. Speaking of which, I had this blink short on. I talked about it a couple times here off 7 even. Usually you will see me dip out of a quarter of it in front of the low of the day. I didn't actually catch this. It turned around at 680, and I did try to get some out at like 83, 84. And I'll show you the level 2 here. Just the liquidity is not tremendous. The volume's great at 4 million. It's done lots of volume, but the liquidity isn't always a huge amount. So I find you have to adjust a little bit of your style in terms of getting in and out. And for me, it might just mean not sitting as passively as I would, looking for size and just sort of punching out as you would. We like to say removing liquidity, punching out, getting out aggressively, whatever you want to call it. But I should be taking some shares out in front of this low of the day. If it breaks, yeah, I want to be short all day long if I can on BLNK, and it is short sell restricted, so I don't want to give it up too early. But certainly I should have been out of some of this when it did bounce at 680. And that's one thing you always try to look to do better, is I'll get some out at 86 here, as I just saw a bit of an offer I can take advantage of. That must be a new position alert there, Sean.
No, they're all the same positions, Neil, but you're right. It's an alert, that's for damn sure, because right now, $3.50 in the money is this Apple trade. We've been taking it out all the way up, but holding for some nice wins on Apple. So good trade there for sure. And look at NVIDIA, finally, but I still want to throw something because I'm going to be down on NVIDIA today and down pretty good because of some of these levels that broke. But now we break. Like, the future's not doing anything. I'll have to watch the NASDAQ 100, but look at this NVIDIA now, $3.50 in the money. We are still some long off this 498 level right here. And look at it just pushing through 502. $4 in the money now on NVIDIA, $3 and change on Apple as we look to get this out on the high side, 493. All-time highs now for Apple. You mentioned look out for 500. Hey, we're watching for 500 right now on the go. Oh yeah, and by the way, Alibaba as well now, upside now, 265 long. That's $1 in the money. So 3 positions, $3 in the money on 2 of them, and $1 on the other one. What you got, B?
Another one to add to the list, potentially here, guys. One from way back when the vaccine or the virus first came out. AIM Immunotech here, one of the initial face mask makers that we were looking at. So AIM on the NYSE exchange, 3.8%, big volume spike there. Just popped up on the radar here, breaking through day highs for AIM, guys.
Yeah, I got to add that one to the list for sure. I remember that. I remember our good friend AIM. You know what? You're going to get that watch. Of course, we talked about that. Our sponsor there, Max Lewis Daniels watches, won't have to go very far because they are an English company. So I hope you do enjoy that. I do want to just sort of briefly touch on Tesla. As great of a move as it was yesterday, hammering 1900 long. Look, this is getting pretty sleepy. It does possibly present you with some opportunities for breakouts. You are seeing a lot of movement in the NASDAQ to the upside, and you're seeing Tesla do absolutely nothing. That kind of gives me the idea that there could be a shorting here. And I know we don't necessarily love shorting Tesla, but maybe through like a 2045 or 2040 area break, you could catch a little something if it does get out of this range-bound trade a little bit later on in the afternoon. But NVIDIA and the rest of the NASDAQ, the bigger tech names, at least in the chip space, moving strongly to the upside. Maybe I will see 500 on Apple at some point to jump in front of that train.
That'd be nice. I'll hold that if I can, if all the way to 500. But right now, 504, a $5 winner now on NVIDIA. So unfortunately, like I mentioned, we don't have all the shares on. We are going to drop some of this off. As NVIDIA flying high, we don't want to get too loud here, but I do want to share with you guys because I see the chat going crazy. You want the bang, so there it is. Bang out on NVIDIA there, $6 win now going on NVIDIA. So we gave you guys that 500 level break. I hope that you enjoyed that. And now it's just rocketing to the north side here. That is NVIDIA. So we've just made a hell of a lot of money back there after taking a bath early. But now Apple today's high again, looking at 494, 493.60 going right now on Apple. But yeah, thank God we made a lot of money back there. $6 now. NVIDIA, bang, as we take out the big stick there and whack NVIDIA down Nice trade, 505 here. NVIDIA just still making that move to the upside. We don't want to let this go all the way back down, so I think probably takes them out next time we get to this 504.50 level. NVIDIA making new highs, up 3% and a bit. NASDAQ going crazy. Apple in the money, $3. So good trades all over the place here. We're going to get out of Apple just now, just above this 493 level, guys.
Yeah, and a big shout out to our community. And I'm going to ask you about this, Max, because from time to time, I'll find a stock that you guys will talk about. It wasn't on my watch list before, and then I'll see it when it's mentioned to me and sort of come up with a plan ad hoc. And if it's a setup that I like, I'll take a shot here, and Virgin's going to be the one. I don't have that 17 break when it happens. It does still make a bottom on volume. It is a downward trend. We sort of looked at the daily chart to show you and confirm it's been bearish. I do see a lot of more enticing names that are moving to the upside. So I'm just going to basically play a retracement play. I have some levels to work off of here, like 705 and VWAP at 1710, I should say. So I'll jump into a short here in front of that 1795 short side. Take some out in front of low a day. Try to ride this train throughout the rest of the show and then the rest of maybe the afternoon, depending on how fast it goes. But Max, is that something that you'll do? Everyone has a watch list. We have one as well. The symbols that are on your radar, but if you see something that maybe we talk about, or maybe you see it in the chat, are you ready to sort of jump in and say, hey, I do a quick little analysis, and I find a trade that maybe I wasn't looking at 9:30 Eastern time here in North America?
Yeah, I mean, the chat is brilliant for finding out like new stocks that you haven't really looked at. I'm always kind of scanning it. I think I found some of my best names from just people saying stuff in the chat, really. I was just thinking of new positions. Have you looked at JAN or JAN? I think it just hit a new high today.
I feel like, Brendan, did you mention Jan to us there? Yeah, I think, you know what, and apologies because sometimes we're doing like a million things at once, but I didn't have that one on the radar. Usually I will immediately add Jan to my watch list or to my quote board the second I hear Brendan talk about it. But if you can just reiterate what the news was on JAN there, Brendan, because I actually missed that story, and I'm glad you bring it up.
Yeah, there was actually a couple of things, if I recall here correctly, going back to a couple of days ago. It was COVID related, but there was, looks like a peripheral artery disease as well as a potential application for COVID-19 vascular complication treatment. So it's a treatment for patients who are already in hospital from COVID, guys.
Yeah, and look, it's the good thing about it here is that, after slightly lower volume and then a halt to the upside, you do have a bit of a spike again and volume picking up. Here's where I want to sort of jump into a little bit of a technical thing when it comes to the markets and direct market access. The volume is at 2.3 million, and for us as day traders, I don't just look at the raw volume. I tend to look at liquidity as well on a stock, and it's okay. It's not tremendous here, so you do have to watch out for a $7 name. The spread, I believe, will definitely open up if it breaks key levels. It is going to be a little bit whippy, so for a lunchtime trade, it's not something I'd be looking to actively day trade. I think you're looking for possibly breaks, and at this point, for me, it would usually be to the downside, just when I see how thinly traded it is. I mean, if 750 were to go, I just wouldn't see, I don't see anything on level 2. I don't see anything in the way of it getting back into VWAP in that case. I think a lot of people that would be sitting in the long might be considering that as well as day traders. So, volume's okay, but the liquidity makes me think it could be a good short if one of these levels breaks and some stops trigger. But the reverse ends up also being true. You got to watch it through like an $8 range, and you got to always go to the higher time frame to see, yeah, we're pushing through any levels that might have been there before. So you're kind of in the upper stratosphere where all you can look for is those even dollar levels. That's why I kind of pointed out that 8 even. But my first look, the way I trade here at 11:30 max is, can I find a place to go short, fill in a bit of this gap? It's up 20%. People like to take profits. It's also Friday. That's my first look on JAN. Nothing against them here, but I'd watch maybe for a 750 break if we have share short.
We're going to also look at Tesla in a minute here. I'm just tweeting this out. We haven't mentioned Twitter yet, but follow all of us on Twitter if you can, and you do have a Twitter account. Do you have a Twitter account there, Max?
I do, yeah, I do actually. I follow quite a lot of traders on Twitter. It's quite a good platform for it, actually, I found.
Yeah, I find it a great platform as well. But there it is, a big time bang as we punch NVIDIA out. And we just talked about here, trying to support this $498, $500 level right now on NVIDIA. So we did take that trade here. Milk. We had to get out of some here on the downside. But then right before 500 we get out, then we take some 501s and we do a great job of holding the rest for some 504.45. So a nice little win there as the market turns hella green on the NASDAQ. But everything else tends to be struggling, like JP Morgan and whatnot. Some of these banks, Brendan, you did a good job there with the sector watch. I mean, these have been really failing for such a long time. Look at a chart like JP Morgan on the daily. Check this out, guys. Okay, if it moves, this is not the greatest daily chart here. Not sure what's going on, so we'll close our daily chart and look at it again. But Max, do you ever trade anything for a longer term? Maybe you're obviously quite a young fellow there. Do you have an investment account or anything like that you tend to sort of put trades into and keep them there for a while? Something that maybe you're looking to hold like multiple years, or are you just right now simply looking to day trade?
Yeah, at the moment, because I'm still more learning the stock market, I haven't got long positions, but I'd absolutely love to get in some longs. It's just at the moment, it's quite nervy looking at getting into longs, especially with Tesla, seeing how like inflated it is. But yeah, I know in the London Stock Exchange, they have like ETFs that you can get into,
right,
which look quite promising. But yeah, no, more so if I do a swing, it'll be for a couple weeks at most, and then the rest is just day trade anyway. But yeah, I know I definitely should get in some more long-term investments.
Okay, good. Yeah, no, and that's very smart. I mean, a lot of people jumping right in there, and I think you're showing your maturity by some of those comments. So I think that's the best thing to do is get educated and find the right stocks for you. But I don't know if, I mean, I'm looking here at CCL, big move to the upside. We were long early at 1475 there. It only goes as high as 80. We just cashed out basically flat on CCL today, but look at this move back to the upside. And that's why I want to talk about some longer term holds. CCL, I don't know if I buy this if I were you. I can't show my daily chart because it's not working, but CCL, a nice little move back to the upside. Microsoft, though, that news that you gave us, Brendan, there about Microsoft stepping into some live action series or something doesn't seem to be taken well by the market. We are out there. I think it was video games. We'll figure out that about Xbox. Maybe if you can remind me of that story, but definitely Microsoft moving the opposite way of a lot of these stocks. So
turned red
watch out there. Yeah, we'll come with that in a minute. But looking at the chat here, people still looking at Givo. There it goes. Yeah, Robert actually asked. Good look there, Robert. Anything happening there with Brendan and Microsoft? So we'll find out. We just give that shout back to Brendan now. So if there's anything happening on Microsoft, he'll find that.
Yeah, because I want to watch it. If it comes back to this open range bottom at like 213 even, I mean, how do you not take a shot at lunchtime to pick up some softy there? Unless there's something that we're missing here. Brendan, what do you have?
Yeah, I mean, no additional headlines here, guys, but they did just say as well, Internet Explorer, after 25 years, getting a little bit of a redo as well. So, but this was the story we were talking about earlier. Universal Film Entertainment Group and Microsoft Azure teaming up on some live action and also animated. So on the animated side, they're going to support it with some cloud-based technology for Universal, guys. So that was the story we were mentioning before.
Yeah, I just want to quickly update a couple of positions I have on here because I had some new shorts that are good, blinks in the money for me, and I got that Virgin Galactic, of course, to the short side. But one sort of sleepier trade that I do have on is going to be that Sorrento. I did talk about identifying that little, sort of go to the higher time frame so you guys can see here. Going back into earlier in the week, a hard bottom off of 10 even. So we watched it dip into the bottom end here and then bottom picked it essentially. We did take already some out for profit, and now it's sitting in a $10, 1013ish range to that 1050 at VWAP. I'm long off the bottom end. I'm taking some out in the top end of it, and I'm going to put you on the spot in a second here, Max, and ask you about our Market Wisdom channel, because speaking of ranges, that's what we're going to talk about, or at least what we talked about already in the video being dropped today. Not every day do you come in and see a parabolic move to the upside. I know we see a lot of it recently, but sometimes a sleepier playing off of support and resistance or range-bound trades can be very, very profitable. We do a little bit of it here. It's always good to add tools into your toolbox. That's what we're dropping on our Market Wisdom channel. If you like it, let us know. If you want some other topics, follow-ups in that area, shout it out to us on Twitter, in the chat, or even in the comment section of those YouTube videos. Max, do you get involved in range-bound trading? Do you like breakouts better? Where do you sort of fall? Is it anything or everything that you love? Or do you like picking things up and just playing a range for some profits?
I'm glad you asked that, actually, because that was one of the things that has been my most profitable play recently. Usually I trade breakouts, but a lot, especially in the market at the moment, they're quite uncertain, like they don't always go exactly how you want them to go. Whereas the trading it within ranges and also using the RSI, going from oversold to overbought, I think we call them comeback kings. They're some of the best trades I've done, really. And recently I got level 2 access, and it makes it so much easier to play off supports and resistances. But yeah, no, I really like them, actually.
Yeah, great, fantastic. I'm glad, you know what, I had no idea that you were going to sort of reiterate that point, so that's fantastic. But I think Brendan's got a little something for us. What do you got?
I just wanted to remind everyone as well, remember, this was about the time, guys. We had this push to 216 on Microsoft and then the fade, obviously. But that was about the same time that rumor came out about Blackstone being interested possibly in TikTok. So that's kind of the other angle as far as Microsoft's concerned today, guys.
Everyone
I don't
getting
really
in front of
I think Microsoft and TikTok would be a huge get for them. So, but I guess maybe people think not. If other people are interested in Microsoft then or in TikTok, good for them. Right now we are short. Right now Microsoft 213.91. We hammered the long. I think it's well, no, Apple. Yeah, Apple. I mean, there's other stocks that are big, but this is just the cleanest trade I've had today so far on that 215 break there. Now we go short, looking to hold it possibly back to here. 214.20, but we'll get some out here. You know, give it about a 30-cent run. If we can get 30 cents on the downside, we'll take it. No real ranges. We did have some consolidation down here in the 60s, so that'll give us that 30 cents. So we will definitely do that. And look, there's a shout out here from Daryl. Daryl, you're one of our favorite members, of course. Great guest trader here. Small loss IBO, but big wins. Long CCL, 1450. Good on you there, Daryl. You definitely trade CCL well, and I had that trade with you. I had dumped it, but good on you for holding that. So right now, $1.25 in the money now on Apple and 54 cents here on Alibaba. But Neil just talked about that video. We do have that coming up. I assume there, Max, you've seen our Market Wisdom page and been doing some lessons on there. I hope you've enjoyed that. Our idea is to educate as many traders as possible. And have you shared our show with anyone, Max?
I have, actually. I think it's perfect for anyone trying to get into day trading, even if you don't watch the live show, even if you just watch the live show on repeat. Because a lot of people learn the kind of how to use supports and resistance just from looking at older charts. But if you watch the show and you pause at a certain point and see, talk to yourself, where's it going to go now? Are they going to get stopped out and stuff like that? I think it'd be really helpful, and especially with the Market Wisdom page, that's fantastic for learning anything about shorting. I don't really short stocks, but I watched the video recently on how to do that, and yeah, it's a blessing.
Good. Glad you're enjoying it.
Love to hear it.
Brendan?
We thought this one was going to be a little bit sleepy today, guys, but Deere here, another day high above 202 there on a volume spike. So another day high means another all-time high as well for DE today, guys.
Definitely, this will not be approaching any all-time highs today. I can confidently say that, and that's going to be Kodak. But we always talk about, you just mentioned short selling there, Max. We talk about the risks of doing it. I think one of the things about Kodak is you get all kinds of short squeezes. It does feel like it had a bit of a range bound at the bottom. I've seen this at a similar time of day. If it breaks this 675 and more like a 680 area, I wouldn't be. If I was sitting here short, that would definitely be my out. I got to think at least a bit about a break of that 680 if I can find something to the long side, because it might take you to 7 even at this time of day and then give you support at VWAP if it doesn't go right away. But a lot of people shorting this name. It's been cheaper and cheaper for us to be able to do so. So lots of people sitting in this one, and now that it's sort of below what some people think that intrinsic value was, if the deal goes through, of course that's still in question if they get that loan. Yeah, you have to start thinking about it getting squeezed. I wouldn't be holding through 680. I'm actually thinking about a scalp long if I can catch a break here, stopping some people out, guys. So watch out. Short selling is great, but the flip side of that is the risk aspect of it. I sort of glossed over it a little bit here, but you mentioned you don't really do a lot of shorting there, Max. Is that true? Have you put a short trade on ever, just first things?
No, I haven't, mainly because the brokers that I trade with in the UK just don't do short selling at all, which is a bit of a a shame, really, because I feel like it's great to not marry a trade and see that there's like two directions to it. But when you can only go long, it's a bit of a hard one to do that. That's the only reason I haven't shorted. I'd love to short stocks. Some of them seem like pretty sure that they're going to go down, and I miss out on it because of that. But yeah.
I mean, the good thing about it is you can always paper trade. I mean, like, it's not to toot our own horn here, but we're fortunate at Day Trade the World. We only day trade, of course, with these accounts. So we're in and we're out at the end of the day. So we have the ability to go both directions. And if we don't have the shares available, we can, of course, pay for those locates. I did just talk about it, and I did take it here, that long at Kodak at 680. So I got 81s alongside here. And again, it just has squeeze written all over it. So for me, if I can get something out in front of that 7, it's a nice little scalp type trade. But putting myself in the mind of a short seller, which is pretty easy on a Kodak, I think to myself, where would I be panicking and getting out if I was still in it? And that was that sort of 680 area. Yeah, you could have had it earlier, but I think some people that were digging into it were going to give it to a higher level, and the next one could definitely be close to that 7 even, guys. So someone asked in the chat, what loan was I talking about? Remember, of course, Kodak, the big news why it got the ramp up was the government loan to convert their business to start making, sort of chemicals for the production of, vaccines in the future. It was a pivot for them. They needed the money to be able to go into that. Of course, it was a $2 stock for a very, very long time when their primary business got trumped. I shouldn't have used that. Yeah. Bad pun, guys, not trumped. Got kiboshed because no one really does real film anymore, guys.
Yeah, we'll rip it up. We'll rip that comment up. There it comes there. But no, you know what? The thing is, good point there. People asking about Kodak. Yeah, we can check out that stock again for you. But we only have 50 minutes to go, and coming up again at the end of the show. And I don't know why Valeria's so upset here, but she's like range bound. I don't know about range bound size. They're not. Now she's smiling now. So very serious about this video. Check it out. This is a great one. We just talked about range bound trading right on cue there. So we'll find that up on our Market Wisdom page. Valeria will be dropping the link there shortly, and we are looking to get back into some Microsoft here. Again, negative today. The market's been pretty positive. We're only going to give this one back to 214.25. Normally I go long Microsoft, but with this move back downside here, you're below VWAP right now. Good time right now, and this is what we're doing. We're just going to try to trade this range. If I can get a few more shares shortable, we'll see about getting them out down here in the 70s. But right now we're just trying to average into Microsoft, giving it to 214.25. Did I hear Brendan ready?
Guys, in case anyone was looking for another electric vehicle stock to trade, there's another one coming very, very shortly. Chinese EV maker XPeng going to IPO, $1.1 billion IPO, so it could be a decent one. Possibly even next week or in the coming weeks at least. Between 11 and 13 per ADS, they're going to sell 85 million shares at 11 to 13, so 1.1 billion for XPeng. Guys, another one coming.
XPeng.
Of course. I mean, worth noting for XPeng there, and I'm going to go to Alibaba because apologies, I don't know the exact number, but they are a major investor and holder in XPeng. So you are going to want to watch out in both of them when this does happen. I'm not saying, oh my gosh, go buy Alibaba right now because they're going to have the successful IPO in the company they're invested in. I actually am looking for a bit of a trend reversal if I can catch it, but it would have to be 264.50 on Alibaba. But it's worth noting, just an update for that news, they are a heavy investor. So will they stand to benefit from it, obviously? Max, I'm going to do a couple of things here. One, I'm going to update one of my positions and give me SRNE, and we talked about range-bound trading. Just a couple of bounces off that 10. I did add to my position one more time at 10.13. I'm still trying to get out in the 30 to 40 range. It looks like it is holding the bottom rather nicely. Only 12 minutes left. It's the end of the week, obviously. Is there anything that you're watching possibly for afternoon trades if you are involved in those? Do you look to hold trades often over the weekend for your swings? And if so, is there anything that catches your eye that you have to be looking at going into the second half of this Friday session?
Not really. I mean, one that did look like it was grinded today and it might carry on over the weekend was HJLI. And also another one was AVGR, which has got like FDA news coming up, so you might be bottom picking that to just have an offering. But yeah, that's about it. It's not looking too eventful of a weekend, really.
Yeah, I mean, Halo that you mentioned there, and look, it's one thing, we're old heads around here, if you can't tell, for trading, and it's just a custom. If I see a ticker, then I'm going to give it a nickname because I don't like saying company names. It's just not the way that my brain works. So I call it Halo. That's Halozyme Therapeutics. Is that who you were mentioning? Who you were talking about?
Yeah, just I've only got the ticker symbol wrote down here, but it was HJLI. Yeah, not sure.
Yeah, definitely. Look, this is what it's all about here, guys. You have to have multiple time frames. You have to have things on your watch, even if you're not actively trading. You don't want to be engaged in lunchtime trade. You can paper trade. You can look for opportunities in the future. One of the ones I'm going to be watching throughout the afternoon is going to be Pixie. It is coming right back into morning support at 425. You're seeing it sort of round out. Look at the ridiculous pullback off of $6. But hey, it's down at this bottom now. Maybe there's going to be a bounce play. We've seen afternoon pushes on some of these names, like 1:30, 2 o'clock. If it does hold this level, I would expect to see something very, very similar. It would likely be, for me, more like a 475 type breakout if you get a long consolidation on Pixie. Not going to jump into it just yet, but certainly on my radar going into this afternoon trade.
Okay, yeah, lots of stocks on radar, and thank you again, Max, for being a great guest. You are going to receive a Lewis Daniels watch, English company. So there you go, Lewis Daniels. You're going to be getting that, and we'll hook you up. Thank you so much for coming on. Averaged into Microsoft here, and it's funny because our video is range-bound trading, which just been dropped there a couple times on the chat. So thank you to Ms. V for that one. But we're trying to play this range right now. We almost broke out and got us out, but we did not. So right now we are short 96. Which isn't great. We just touched down to 96 again. We took our biggest position at 92. That's why these averages in don't give us the greatest price, but our last one was at 0607. So looking to break downside now. Look, on a Microsoft break, I will take some out here at this consolidation point of 60. There's no doubt about that. But I do think that 213 even possibly gets checked out here, especially if the market does come through. Microsoft weaker than Apple. We did have Apple, and I did get out of that one. Big time trade up to 493 all-time highs there. Apple, watch out for the 500 break, but Brendan got something else.
A little bit of Canadian content, guys. Ballard Power just popping up on a list here, as you can see. Volume coming in as we break to day highs, 9.8% for BLDP. Interlisted, you can trade this if you're looking here in Toronto as well. A couple of price target increases, a couple of upgrades on Ballard Power today, guys.
Wow, people buy Canadian companies too. I know somebody who was looking to get in the energy space in Canada. Maybe he got involved in that. But I do want to get back to Sorrento. We talked about range-bound trading. I literally had mentioned I just got some more shares down around that 10-10 area. I just took a couple legs out, 30 and 35 again. So I'm going to rinse and repeat. It's a bottom pick. I identified the level at 10 to 10.13. It's held. So I'm going to keep loading up every single time, and eventually, we'll get the VWAP break as long as 10 holds, and then I'll have a target for the second half of the position in the 60s and 70s. Obviously, counter trend trading, has its dangers. You see me do it in both directions. More often, I'd be shorting something which is up. But I think in this case, I did like the Sorrento bounce off of 10. I did hunt for it a couple of days ago and never got it. Today we got this one on. Not to say it's revenge trading, but. Is that something you'd like to do, Max, where if you missed out on an opportunity that was on your radar, maybe you mistrade something, are you sort of looking for that type of setup, or maybe that same stock, to give you another crack at it because you've learned a bit of a lesson and it's sort of a top of your mind? Is that something you look to do for off of your mistakes?
Yeah, I'd love to say that I don't revenge trade, but sometimes the emotions definitely have a play in it. Yeah, I sometimes try to, especially if I know that the catalyst there is solid and that there's nice moves in it, because sometimes I don't let runners run, really, and I get out too quickly, and I know that might not be a bad thing, but if you know that everything's there's nothing wrong with the company and that they've got a good catalyst, then just let it run. But yeah, sometimes I do get back into trades that haven't worked just purely out of spite.
Yeah, I think you said the first part there. It's like, look, if you have good, solid reasons, if you got out too early, if you find a good entry point, you go back with it, but not out of spite. I think that's the wrong way to look at it. Certainly, we all want to make a little bit more money. That's what it's all about. But I'm getting this from Blair. And apologies if I missed this, but I can't pronounce his name. Merlaxander?
Where? Yep.
Mr. Alexander. I'm an idiot. Mr. Alexander, happy birthday. I'm going to call it happy 25th birthday. Why not? Look, we love this community here, and happy birthday for you. Enjoy the weekend. I hope you've had a good day trading for yourself. I hope you do enjoy it. Spend it with friends or family, whatever it might be. This is what it's all about here, guys. We love the love. We love to share our knowledge with you. We love to share your positive and hopefully never negative experiences, but it does happen in the market today.
I finally get to hit this guy here because now we got a nice win. There we go, nice little suit there. I like that. Yeah, give the gunshot salute. I didn't know if we're doing that, but here we go. Averaged into Microsoft here, Max, and we did break the range. So now we come back to the downside. We've got obviously a decent position on here. 26 pennies now in the money here on softies. So we took it long and crushed it. We take it short now and line up the pins to go. But the one thing that we always ask, pretty much always, most of our guest traders is, and Max, you know what time it is. It's fruit salad time. I wonder if you have any fruit salad there with you, but today's...
Got an apple.
Pineapple. Okay, you have... Oh, an apple.
Oh,
okay,
an apple.
good.
Oh, I thought you said pineapple.
No, I just got an apple there. Today it's actually... oh, there we go. Go on this camera. The fruit salad today was just 3 fruits. Cantaloupe, strawberry, and blueberry. So pick one of those. Cantaloupe, strawberry, or blueberry, Max. What would be your favorite?
Oh, it's got to be strawberry. Where's the kiwi? Where's the kiwi?
Yeah, we were loaded up. Exactly. We were loaded up with kiwi.
It was kiwi. I think there's kiwi this morning, but I got some at my desk there, Sean. I might have taken.
Yeah, I took it from the other fruit salad, but I didn't see any kiwi there. So, but yeah, we killed the kiwi yesterday. Good look there. But is kiwi your favorite fruit or nah?
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be. It's such a weird fruit, isn't it? Why is it furry?
I don't know, but it is.
It's delicious. Let's just be honest about it. But look, we only have a few minutes to go, and I got to update you on a couple of things. I talked about a possible squeeze here in Kodak. I did get the long. I've taken 2/3 of it out as it turned around in front of 7, which I kind of anticipated. We mentioned to you, so I will take some out. I'm going to look to hold through the rest to high of the day, just in case it's a parabolic move. And I've taken more Sorrento out in front of 1050, so that bottom pick continuing to work. I'll tweet them both out. But we need to go to Brendan, who has something for us.
A little bit of a headline, guys, on Gilead here. Looks like an independent study on remdesivir, just kind of reiterating, I think, what everyone already knew. I'm going to keep reading here, but it looks like just at first glance, remdesivir, they're just basically saying it may not have any significant importance as far as treating COVID-19 patients. So if you remember, the FDA did give emergency use approval for remdesivir for treating patients of COVID-19, but a little bit of a spike here on Gilead as a result, to the upside, surprisingly, guys.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Didn't you say that maybe does not have the possible results that they were looking for? And look at that. So there you go. Sometimes the negative news maybe is a good thing, but who knows here? With only 4 minutes to go, everybody's already checking out the videos. It's already dropped right there, range-bound trading. We just did a beautiful trade there on Microsoft and got out on that range trade. So good look there to go. So good names there. I want to wish everybody a fantastic weekend as well, as we only have a couple more minutes left. Max, this is the open. Do you want to say any shout outs to any of your friends, family, anybody like that? Go ahead. The floor is yours here, my friend.
Yeah, shout out to my mum and Russ for always staying there through the ups and downs, especially the trading. It's been a lot of downs and quite a few ups. and my missus, Hannah, as well.
Smart move, my friend. You definitely do it right there. Get the mom and get the missus. That's what it's all about here. Look, it's been a heck of a lot of fun, certainly having you on the show and just for the entire team here. Max, I want to say a big thank you. But you got to know there is one more thing that we have to do. We're going to be dropping into Valeria. Let's see what national day it is, guys.
Hey Max, thank you very much for joining us today. I wish you all the luck with your trades and have a great weekend. Trading family, thank you very much for another great week, for all the love and support. You're our main inspiration and motivation. And guys, if you didn't subscribe yet, please smash the subscribe button now. And we'll see you on Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And of course, smash the like button. We're less than 100 likes to reach 1,000 likes. So if you didn't like this video yet, smash the like button right now. And before you go watch our next educational video, happy Spumoni Day! Whatever it is.
Spumoni, yeah, different ice cream there, Valeria. But Spumoni, not bad, not bad.
God.
You had Spumoni at all there, Max?
I was just thinking, I've never heard of that in my life. What is Spumoni?
We have to find out exactly. It has little candies in it and stuff. Yeah, it's an
Right.
Italian. It's like an Italian cake, but in the form of an ice cream there. So spumoni. It's not my favorite, but it definitely is there for sure. So thanks again, Max, and good shout outs there. Welcome to the program. You've been a great guest trader. I want to wish you a good weekend as well.
Thank you very much. You saw my hands on my head there, and I want to talk about spumoni if I could, but we were talking about the possible squeeze in Kodak coming. I got 2/3 of it out in front of 7 even. It breaks 7. I hold the final throw. I got out 750. It just halted at $8. So once again, another squeeze on Kodak. I really hope we save somebody some money. We told you guys not to short this one today, and then had a bit of a long break on Kodak. It's a good win, but it could certainly be better. Brendan, what do you got there?
It's additional information, surprisingly, on Kodak. So it's not a, well, it is a volatility halt, obviously, but also an additional information request halt on Kodak. So yes, as we leave for the weekend, here we go again on Kodak, guys. It's funny at this point, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. An ear to the ground, everybody, for that news when it does come out. It could be something regarding that loan that we mentioned. And of course, it just broke a range, obviously, and a big win if you got the range break. We're dropping our video on the Market Wisdom channel. It is about range-bound trading. We've done a little bit of it today. Certainly add it to your toolbox. I think it's worthwhile. Even if it's not your style, you can always learn as a trader. That's what the Market Wisdom is all about, and we try to give you topics that are informative to you. Max, it's been an absolute pleasure. Best of luck for the rest of your trading day. Definitely. Oh, sorry, Brendan, again?
Plug power, guys. Citron just tweeted something about Plug. So watch Plug here to the downside. Big time volume on the sell side for Plug, guys.
Wow, there he is. He's just doing it all for you guys. And this is what it's all about for the show. Plug power, action to the downside, Kodak to the upside. Once again, Max, you've been a fantastic guest. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. For the entire team here, Valeria is always doing a fantastic job. And my good friend, Sean Katina, crushing it as always. Brendan can't even get out of here without giving you all the news live and making sure you're informed. I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening as we hit 1,000 likes. Thank you very much, everybody, for the love. I'm Neil Roberts, guys. We'll see you next week. Thank you very much, Max.